to the full screen. There we go. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so kind of impromptu stream tonight. Alex Dewar was actually asking me if I wanted to stream tonight, and I thought about it. I was like, I was on the fence about it. I wasn't sure, like, so many days in a row if I should do that, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I think I will, obviously, because I'm here. But yeah, I'm thinking, gonna mix it up. I've been building up Dane's Reaction Farm playlist over on my Great Dane Films YouTube channel. You know, there's some good stuff out there. It's fun, just grabbing what I can. But anyway, let's go ahead and dial this music back a little bit. There we go. It's just for vibes purposes. But yeah, we'll give a minute, let people come on in. Ukadala, welcome. Let's see. Give people a chance to make their way in. By the way, if you know anybody else who you think would enjoy these streams, invite them on over too. Because looking to grow the fam here, you know? What else? I've got a bunch of stuff that I can start pulling up here. I've got some detailing videos, but you know what? I feel like Mondays are for detailing on this channel. We'll watch detailing stuff on Mondays. What I'm feeling today is maybe a little bit of architecture stuff, maybe a little house tour stuff, maybe some like city planning gone wrong type stuff. I'm sure there's some options out there, but yeah, we'll take a look at them and see what clicks. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a few I think are gonna be handy here, so don't mind me just working in the background while we get a few people in place. And you guys, hopefully you're having a wonderful night as well. Assuming it's night where you're at. If it's not, well, then whatever it is where you are. Okay, we got some, yeah, we got some fun ones coming up here. All right. I don't know what my hair's trying to do. What is this? Okay, that's just gonna have to do for now. What I am thinking of doing, in addition to streaming here for a little while tonight, I'm probably also gonna hop back on the Xbox later, kind of like we did last night, because Anthony and I had an epic time playing Sea of Thieves. Like, just, it's been a while since we played it, so we were rusty, so we're like, I don't know, is it gonna be any good? But no, it actually turned out to be awesome. So yeah, we had a really good time, and Tonzors, aka Tony Muzzle, joined in, and we had a lot of fun. He was a great third crewmate there, really made things run a lot smoother than when Anthony and I were trying to work the ship. It was bad news. Oh, good. I'm glad you were enjoying that, Jamie. You saw the Sea of Thieves shenanigans. Yeah, so the problem was Anthony's mic died out halfway for some reason, but oh my god, Jamie, if you could help us crew like a four-man ship, we got like Tony, you, Anthony, and myself, we could actually run like a four-man ship, dude, we would be swashbuckling up to here, I'm telling you. So yeah, find yourself an Xbox if you can, and some spare time if you can. I'd stream all y'all, it'd be fun. But let's see, I got some follow-ups here. I think I'm gonna start things off here with funny enough, a debunking of some weird paranormal creature videos. We had that actually, Jamie. Now that I know you're in here, I know what to start with. So I'm gonna pop over to my React view here. Wabam! Oh, doesn't that look familiar, right? All right, I'm gonna unmute the site there. Actually, I have the last model Xbox. Wonder if that were. You know what, Jamie? If you have a an Xbox, what is it, One or Xbox One S or whatever, you might be able to do that, because Sea of Thieves, compared to some of the other games that are on the system, Sea of Thieves has been available for a fairly long time. So like the graphics aren't like state of the art or anything, but it's so much fun. So yeah, if you think you can hop on there and you got yourself like Xbox Live or something, add you on, you know, gamertag or whatever. Obviously, I'm Great Dane Films on there, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find. But yeah, add me as a friend on there, and then I can see about adding you to the party. I think that'd be so much fun. All right, good stuff already. Let's see the creepies. Oh, yeah. All right. So we got 5 people in here. It's a good start. All right, Jamie, just for you, I'm starting things off with this. So let's watch the Corridor crew react to creepy, crawly paranormal creatures and debunk them.
Cryptids. People from all over the globe have managed to capture images and videos. This is like the fakest looking security camera footage.
Wow, that's some VFX.
The things that we can use to prove that it's VFX all happen at the end here. Nico.
Hi, Sam.
It has come to my attention that the world has another plague on its hands.
Oh no.
Cryptids.
The city of Amarillo, Texas is asking folks to guess, what is this thing?
So, on previous debunk episodes here,
Oh no, before I continue, Rigdon, what's the issue with the user interface? What's driving you crazy here? I mostly tried to set it up so it was simple. I just have my, YouTube window up here, and then I've got myself down in the corner, so I'm not blocking the view, right? Then I got the chat up above me, which I actually have a couple of different chat boxes, depending on which one looks better. This one fills up the screen a little better. But, yeah, it's a little bit hit or miss as far as, like, what it shows. So it updates a little slower than the actual OG one there. Just make that invisible, and there we got the chat back. Yeah, so that's basically what we're working with. Anyway, I'm just curious. Is there anything I can do to make it better, or just work for now? I'm always looking to improve, of course, but dude, I could provide bullets. Well, here's the thing. The interface is basically just a Streamlabs, like a very simple, like cookie cutter kind of thing. I haven't gone too deep into it, but I will say it took me a few hours just to get it to lay out like this with my crops and stuff set up the way I wanted. It's a lot. If you go down the rabbit hole, it can get pretty ugly pretty fast, but I still value the opinion, so go ahead and lay it on me when you think you've got some stuff that you want to throw out there. I'll listen, and if I can apply it, I'll give it a shot. But seriously, yeah, if you have something that you've seen elsewhere that you think I could do better, I'm learning this stuff, so please throw it my way. I'd be curious to know if it's something I can do, because right now I'm not using the paid version of Streamlabs because I didn't know how into streaming I'd be. I just figured, we'll dip our toe in the water first, and a lot of the options, go figure, are hidden behind a paywall.
we have covered the UAPs and UFOs that live in the skies above us, but there are still so many paranormal moments captured on footage that happen here on the ground. Everything from ghosts, orbs, and today, cryptids. You may have heard of the phrase cryptid before, but if you haven't, it comes from when you combine the word creepy and dude, you get cryptid. So cryptids, I believe the stages, they go from invisible cryptid to orb to wisp to transparent humanoid form, and then they physically manifest finally as a cryptid. Fortunately, people from all over the globe have managed to capture images and videos. And so today we have a wide array of clips documenting cryptids in all of their various forms.
All right, so we're gonna sit back and we're gonna apply our knowledge of camera trickery, visual effects, special effects. We're gonna try to figure out if what we're looking at has been faked or if it's something real on camera that's unexplainable.
Are you ready for this?
Hit me. Let's go.
Oh, wow. Isn't that creepy?
It's like a little praying mantis just creeping in a driveway.
Something is like hanging from his mouth or
It's got
something.
like a weirdly shaped head.
Where are the arms?
That thing dangling out of his head, I think, is just his other arm.
Oh.
Like this.
Each time he turns, we're just seeing his hand be like
Yeah.
this.
Sam, that's just a dude in a morph suit. The creature / person looks really skinny and like lanky, and it looks like their head is like almost like a rectangle. But I have a feeling that's just really compression doing a number on it, because boy is this compressed. But I really think this is just
I mean, that's how they're most effective, is when you degrade the quality such that...
They're not really going anywhere or looking at anything. Like, it feels like they're acting. They're just doing an intentionally creepy walk
Well, yeah, as we know, like cryptids, like the way they act is much different than this. I mean, I would imagine they're stealing stuff out of your cupboards. You know, they're like putting like little totems underneath your pillow when you sleep. You know, it's like that's clearly what they do. It's not bad though. It's not bad though. It piques my interest though. You know, you watch it and you're like, ooh, all right, I'm into this. Let's give it our final call. Is this a cryptid or cryptidn't?
Cryptid.
So this video, captured obviously by security cam footage, shows a man being attacked by a cryptid in its proto form, aka a completely transparent cryptid. It's very shocking. Whoa.
Oh. Is that fancy breakdancing? Or is that a mysterious force? Let me see.
A talented enough dancer type could definitely pull that off.
Down he goes. Throws that pink towel. So right here, that scoot. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to move like that. So something has to be pulling him around.
Something is holding onto his leg. It has like all the signs of a wire pull. Because it is a gym, they do have like, clearly, it's structurally sound enough to hang like, you know, load-bearing like ropes and stuff like that. So you could totally mount like a wire or something in that area.
When he gets lifted up by the leg, it looks like it's a rope pulling on his leg. And you'll notice the leg pulls him to a spot and then kind of goes up there. So if you were to take the motion of, say, a rope coming from a pulley on the ceiling and going down, the way he gets moved and pulled over to that spot and he's being pulled straight up there, that's the motion you would have from a rope being on the ceiling. If it was a person like pulling his leg along, he would just be scooting along the floor. He wouldn't get like scooted right to the spot and his leg wouldn't go straight up and then be like pulled straight up. Also, once he gets back up and he runs away.
You can see it with his motion where he's like favoring that foot. But then again, a ghost tried to dislocate it.
So my guess is that there would just be somebody pulling them around and they're just painting them out, which is like the oldest trick in the book when it comes to visual effects. Can I have proof of there's visual effects? No, it's so compressed. I don't really have anything I can particularly point to.
It's
Once again, that's why it's so effective, is when it's this horribly like compressed, just crappy footage. It's going to be more compelling because you don't have a lot of the information, so your brain's trying to believe more likely that it's real because you see security cam footage before you know what that looks like. Also, I just really want to point out that one of my favorite movies of all time, he's got a shirt of it, which is rad. I love that. Granted, my favorite one is the first Crank. The second Crank is also awesome, but it's not my top 5 the way that the first one is, so, you know, little by little. But cool shirt. I have no idea how I would have gotten a hold of that except for effects-related stuff, so.
Clumsy ghost. Like, clearly the ghost is there to get this guy. And yet he spends his time milling around, bumping into stuff, tripping over balls, like going like, what does this button do? Boop, and turns off a light. You know, it's like, go for the kill.
I think it's a cryptid.
That's a cryptid.
Is this thing on? Okay. We actually have our own cryptid problem in the studio. There's been reports of hauntings going on. Every nook and cranny of the studio seems to have some weird little janky spirit in it. These spooky little guys are everywhere.
Oh my God, cryptids are here now.
These hauntings are really starting to...
I recognize that fan from Costco.
No one can get anything done anymore around here. Luckily, thanks to today's sponsor, Raycon, using these video.
Got it. There we go.
We got one more invisible. This is like the fakest looking security camera footage. Like the lights are on. Like the lights are literally on. And it's green, like night vision. But the light, you could see the lights are on. You see the light casting, like they...
Yeah.
Oh, I got the door handle. Oh, dramatically timed door handle right when it moves, it cut away. It's like, did a ghost move that door handle? Maybe.
Maybe.
Could another person have done that easily? Yeah.
Just
Just as easily.
More plausibly.
Ooh, a shadow.
Oh. Unexplainable. Like that one. Yeah, it's probably, I think that's a mask. That's like After Effects.
You're right, looks like After Effects.
Yeah, there's nothing about that like significantly changes the lighting of the environment or shows that the shadow is being cast from any physical source. So obviously, yes, our options are A, a ghost, B, After Effects.
They're doing my job for me.
Push. Come on, roll that chair.
Give me a chair. Oh,
There's the chair. Being pulled
It's always
over.
a similar
Now, if
kind
these
of
chairs
move,
could
too.
Move in a straight line towards a fixed point, I would be more intrigued. As it currently stands, just like the guy's foot, they're going to a straight point.
This is a very young cryptid who's just discovered his psychic powers and it's like experimenting.
Ooh, the monitor turned on. Wow, that's a VFX.
I was gonna say, holy shit, that's
Yeah,
just
go
a
see it,
simulated
go see
screen
it,
on
yeah.
all of them.
So first,
Aw,
for
come
doing
on.
reflections in the window. Good for them. So why is that VFX while the screen's turning on, even though they so lovingly did the screens and the reflection? Well, because the screens cast 0 light into the environment once they turn on. Turn on any screen and look at the environment. It casts light into it. Also, LCD screens don't have static.
Yeah, unless they're like switching to a source, like a
Like a TV
an analog,
station.
like, receiver that doesn't have a signal. Like there's no way.
Static on a screen is from back in the day when your TV was hooked up to an antenna, and the antenna would receive radio waves, electromagnetic waves, and turn those into an image. When it wasn't dialed into a channel, basically a broadcasting frequency, it was literally just getting the random electromagnetic frequencies from space, which represents itself as random pixels on your TV, aka noise. All right, that's cool.
Static.
You know, what a fun little project for some people to do in their office on their off hours. Cryptid.
Cryptid.
This might look like an ordinary gym to you, but at night, it's far from normal.
So cryptids,
Oh, is it?
they start invisible, but then they finally gain a spirit orb of sorts. And that is, I think, their first manifestation.
Kevin installed those cameras a few months ago, but it wasn't very long until he was alerted to some intruders. Very strange intruder.
Man, something about this guy gave me weird Alex Trebek vibes, but I wasn't quite sure. I mean, he doesn't really look like him, but if you just took Alex Trebek and Wilford Brimley and you kind of stuck them into a blender, I mean, not violently, but just, you know, mixed them up a little bit, and then there's a third person in there, but I can't quite figure out who it is.
What is this freaking like?
Orbs! Shit. Thankfully, they brought experts in to say these are actually friendly spirits.
Oh,
It's
good.
not uncommon for apparently industrial buildings to get perceived supernatural experience.
Local ghost expert Mason Winfield.
Law enforcement appears powerless to stop it.
Law enforcement is powerless to stop these friendly spirits.
What? Oh my god.
But why?
This is basically dust just drifting in front of the lens.
Yeah, it's like, it's an old building. They turn on the AC.
So security cameras have infrared LEDs right around the lens. So when stuff goes by the camera, it catches the light from what's basically a bright infrared flashlight that's right beside the camera lens. So things are super bright when they're right in front of the light. So literally dust or bugs. That looks like dust to me. It's just blown by the lens.
I've seen dust on a
It's
security
out of
cam
focus.
before.
It's
It looks a
bright.
lot
It
like
looks
that.
a freaking bokeh, a circle. It's crappy cameras that are leaving trails. You know, everybody at the news station knows this is dust.
Like everyone here
Oh,
knows it's
totally.
dust, and they're like, hey, they're sending news people down here and some like ghost experts.
But some people in our audience are really, really dumb. Or impressionable. Let's just see what happens. Won't cause a panic or anything.
So everyone come to the gym today so we can all box in the background.
Cryptid.
Cryptid, yeah. These cryptids, the journey, they started invisible, they've manifested into spirit orbs, and now they're building out their mortal form. All right? Are you ready? They're not quite solid yet, but they're getting there.
Ooh. This is a person in a bed sheet composited into the shot.
It looks like they're using a
Once again,
semi-opacity filter kind of thing on this.
Visual effects. Yes.
You can definitely see there's a
Very easily.
weird,
Is there
like,
anything that indicates this being visual effects? Yes.
the
It strikes me
pixels
as somebody having,
suggest.
like, recorded the shot twice and then like comping them together.
No, we're seeing like true 3D motion there. You see how it's like below the dash? It kind of like moves up and over. So it's like, if you're to do that, you know, you have to track your shot. You have to track your background footage, and then you have to add this on top. But in a way, you could totally do that with two plates there. If the perspective doesn't change very much, it's effectively a 2D effect.
Yeah, you get the you start the shot and you film the ghost, and then the camera's on the dashboard locked off. Then you have the person go across. That's your element. You can cut it out, do whatever you want with it. just motion track it back to the shot. This is a very easy shot to do with visual effects.
The things that we can use to prove that it's VFX all happen at the end here. Here at the end, the ghost actually goes over a bush that's supposed to be closer to camera. And that's weird.
Whoops.
And then it's the masking behind the trees here. Once it crosses behind the trees, you can see that there's this like very super sharp dark edge. Now, granted, it's a headlight coming from the perspective of the lens. Theoretically, our light wrap would be that dark on the edge.
But still, it's a very defined edge there for what's otherwise very blurry and compressed video. It does strike me as being odd. I like how the ghost is authentically walking. Like, it doesn't float.
Yeah, it walks.
It walks.
It's a walking ghost.
Yeah, that's a cryptid.
Cryptid. All right, Nico. Here's our first fully formed cryptid displaying some classic cryptid behaviors.
That looks like she's digging with her hands.
Looking at that weird creature there? What is that? Is that a... Looks like she's digging with her hands. Oh, hell yeah. I'm down for this. This is creepy and spooky.
Yeah, it's a cryptid. What do they do in the graveyard?
Suddenly, jump scare. One pops right up in front of the screen.
It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, so not a creature, just a human being.
Just a crackhead.
But the human being is doing creepy
That's
things.
almost
I like
exactly what I was thinking of.
Well, that means he's a cryptid.
Oh, you got a cryptid.
We got a cryptid there. Like, yeah, just a guy. Someone maybe on drugs. Someone who's, dealing with a mental health problem.
I mean, if you're looking at that mound of dirt around him, though, that's a pretty sizable chunk. Like, somebody's been digging for a minute.
Ooh, this is a good setup for a creepy video.
So let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Monster squealed that wave.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
It's about to get scary.
What is that? Dude, what is that?
Is that a full-size guy?
Cool. Here we go.
Go! No! Run!
And I'm gonna guess, yeah,
Just Quentin Jones.
the pacing is definitely...
What the hell?
That's a dude.
It's just a dude.
You're a dude.
Yes, look at that. It's like literally his friend
Oh,
with like freaking
man.
long underwear or something on. At first it was really convincing, and then it's just like a dude with his underwear.
That's a head crab from
Yeah, it's always a little more convincing the less you show.
Half-Life.
Or is that a predator mask?
You can see it falling off, so he like pushes on it. He's like,
Like,
okay,
oh,
just
hold
a
on,
mask for-
adjusting it.
They made the mistake of having him come too close to the light. Wonderful video.
Yes, Jamie, do it.
Excellent all the way until the reveal. Cryptid.
Cryptid.
Womp womp.
On that note, would you like to see the final clip?
I would love to see a final clip.
Something completely unexplainable. Something so bone-chilling.
Oh God,
You
it's
may
this one.
never
Here it
go on to
is.
See this cryptid.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's Dobby. Come on, it's
I
Dobby.
hope when my boy is like 4 years old that he puts a t-shirt on his head and does this in my driveway.
I know. Literally, that's a boy with a towel on his head, and it's millions of views. Has the Dobby mystery been solved? Let me say the description. 3 months after a creepy creature that resembled Dobby from Harry Potter was captured on a home security camera, the question remains, who or what was it? Some viewers noticed similarities to Dobby, while others theorized it could be Gomez's 9-year-old son wearing underwear on his head. Inside Edition put it to the test by placing underwear on Bobby's head and then
I was gonna
asking him
say.
to do the chicken dance.
Wait, I need to see this.
He's like, all right, put this underwear on your head.
Oh, that's him.
Dude, look at that
Skinny little guy.
It's totally.
The signs next to the car was the clue I was looking for.
You know what? Props to
There you
Inside
go.
Edition for doing some hard investigative
The
journalism.
hard, yeah, they brought the story.
Honestly, the fact they went out there and did that and they got the same shot is rad.
That's
Is
great.
it Bobby or Dobby? That's the. I
I mean, kudos to them. They got a ton of views out of that.
I want one of those shirts. I'm gonna.
I want a Bobby or Dobby shirt too. I would love a Bobby or Dobby shirt.
All right, if anyone knows where you can get Bobby or Dobby shirts, please send a few.
Just the
forward.
lowest
We
quality
would
shirt
So
ever.
much appreciate that. We'll wear them on the next debunk.
Yeah.
Not a lot of convincing stuff.
Womp womp.
No, there's nothing convincing out there yet that we've seen.
Yeah, I think we decrypted those cryptids
Ugh.
today.
Some good creepy stuff. Some
Yeah.
good visual effects.
Clearly, they need Jamie fishing for more videos for him.
These clips are incredible to watch. They are eerie, they're spooky, they're super fun to do.
All right. We're going back to the Dodge thing for a minute just to check in because I enjoy Sketch Monkey for the stuff he does. So I like his analysis. Let's see what he says about the new Dodge Charger. Is it Daytona SRT? The Banshee 800 volt architecture. Like, there are so many names, and it's got the Fratzog logo on it. Like, there are so many things they're throwing at this. But overall, I think it's cool. I think the part that I have a little difficulty with is just the way that well, we'll see. He'll probably say the same thing as me about the roof line and how it kind of reminds me of like the way the Panamera on the Porsche Panamera just kind of terminates weird up above into the fastback. Like, I love that it's a hatch, but proportionally, it's a little strange looking.
I'm a huge fan of Dodge because they simply don't compromise. I love the fact that the Challenger has been around in its current form since 2007 and it still outsells the Mustang and the Camaro. So yesterday I made a video about the 2023 Dodge Hornet talking about how it's a rebranded Alfa Romeo Tonale and that I was a bit disappointed in Dodge's lack of effort in implementing their own design DNA in the new crossover. Now, I want you to forget everything I said in that video because what we have right here is the brand new 2023 Dodge Charger Daytona SRT concept. Now, there's so much I want to talk about this design. I don't really know where to start. It has turned my idea.
Check the cat wandering into frame.
Be completely upside down. I've often said that if you want to work as a designer these days, you should look at Hyundai or Kia because they seem to have embraced the true potential of EV design and bring out concepts and production cars that are...
Oh my god, the Vision 74 again. Still to me, the best looking concept to come out in ages. God, that thing's badass.
Styles design.
I would buy that tomorrow. I would sell my cars and get that.
To go wild and bring back the heritage of a brand in a new, modern, and exciting design. Just take a look at the Insane and Vision concepts, for example. These are fantastic cars by Hyundai that I'm sure will go into production eventually. Now, with the release of the Charger Daytona SRT concept, I will...
Now, if you didn't hear my commentary yesterday, one thing I also pointed out
Now, with the release
was that I felt like even though you clearly see like, oh, it's a coupe, it's got 2 doors. This feels like a design where if it was originally intended as a coupe, the rear would have been, the rear of the greenhouse would have been a little further forward, or they would have pulled all that back to give it a longer hood, just if you're going for like Charger style proportions. But this is clearly like an elongated greenhouse, kind of similar to like a Porsche Panamera, like I was saying, where it just continues a little further because, yeah, they're doing like a giant hatchback thing, which I love. I love that. Just from a style perspective, though, I feel like it kind of, I don't know, it softens it up a little bit in a way where it could have been like harder edge looking. So to me, what I was getting at was this feels like a 4-door concept that they just... in the last, few months of, designing the actual concept model itself, they went, let's axe those 2 rear doors. We'll make the front ones a little bit longer, but, whatever. And then it just feels like a 4-door concept that has 2 doors. Like, there's something about it that looks off. But, of course, if you look at it here, you put a set of rear doors on it, they're going to be super tiny entryway into the back there. So it is kind of like a classic 60s, 70s sedan style coupe where it's effectively like having a sedan, like a 4-door sedan, a 3-box sedan, but with 2 doors on it. It's just the way these are cut. It's just a little awkward looking. I bet it looks better in person, though. I have heard from people who were there at the event saying that it actually looked better than even the pictures suggest on specifically that shape of the greenhouse and the way the rear and the rear 3/4 angle side profile kind of look.
Release of the Charger Daytona SRT concept, I will now officially add the
That front
United
R-wing,
States
dope.
to the
Awesome
list
idea. Super
because
cool.
This car is simply a masterpiece. I'm a huge fan of Dodge because they simply don't compromise. I love the fact that the Challenger has been around in its current form since 2007 and it still outsells the Mustang and the Camaro, both of which have been updated several times since then. The Mustang and Camaro are both in today's
The Camaro went from being decent looking to straight up uggo in the latest iteration. It was not good.
form. They're both sports cars. They are the cars you
The
take
Mustang
to the
I
track
always
in
found to be a
full
little better
race gear,
looking,
while
but they're
the
so common.
Challenger is
I
made
didn't
for
feel like
burnouts
it
under the
necessarily.
lights on an
And don't get me wrong, the Challenger is like super common too, but the ones you see are oftentimes the lower models, the V6s, etc. But there are a surprising number of Hellcats around. Just considering, I mean, it's a lot of bang for your buck, but it is interesting.
empty parking lot in your favorite t-shirt and baseball cap. Why is that? It's pretty simple actually. People want and love muscle cars. We love the simplicity of them. We love the ridiculous power figures that will only result in more frequent tire changes and actual acceleration. But more than anything, we love the design. Can we just take a minute to appreciate these official Dodge design sketches of the new Charger Daytona? Just look at how simple the lines and volumes are.
Okay. Looking at this concept drawing versus the final actual product, you can kind of see, yeah, it's still a little elongated on the greenhouse. Something about it, though, looks a little more squunched down, crunched down, squanched, whatever you want to say. The greenhouse doesn't look as tall.
We're going to talk more about these sketches in Photoshop in a minute.
Especially from there, I really like that look.
And just how true to the original muscle car shape it is. It's boxy, it's sharp, and it's also timeless. This is a design that will stand the test of time. I know that because it's essentially the same shape as the 60s and 70s Charger, but with some fancier lights. Before we go any further, I'd like to introduce you to today's sponsor, but in Sweden though, no smoke of smoke. And just look at the crafts to stimulate artificial flavors or is the promo code this piece of art. Let's start with the sketches because I think these are so cool, and this, as I said, it just shows
For all the YouTube videos I do watch, that is a sponsor I have not seen on any other channels yet, so interesting.
that Dodge designers these days, they have a lot of fun designing cars. This is, to me, this would be like a dream project to work on. Reimagine the original Charger in an EV form. We can play around with the proportions because we have a battery pack here, so we can do whatever we want on top of this. It doesn't need to house an engine or a transmission right here, so the proportions can look very cool, and I think they really nailed the design. We have this simple line that I'm going to show you when I compare it to the 70 Charger. These lines are key lines that you need to have in a Charger. Looking at it from a rear view, simple graphics also in the front, and it continues in the rear. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about Dodge.
The 70 Charger, though, like the 68, 69, 70 Charger, that C-pillar, the big, thick C-pillar there at the rear, terminated a lot further forward on the rear there. The trunk lid was essentially huge, massive, so there's a lot more space back there. It just made the whole thing look dramatically longer. So that's kind of where this is different, because obviously they're trying to make it into a hatchback, so you end up with almost like a Audi A5 Sportback kind of situation.
Not compromising, they still keep very simplistic designs, and I think that is.
Yeah, and Ukadella, like you're saying, to be fair, the original 66, 67 Charger had the elongated greenhouse. Yeah, no, like I can pull him up here for an example, although I think he's about to do that, so maybe we'll give him a chance here, but yeah, let's pull up, yeah. Yeah, and you're right about that. But being honest, when I think of the Dodge Charger, the most iconic Dodge Charger, I'm not thinking of the 67 here. I'm definitely thinking more along the lines of the later one. So yeah, I mean, it looked more or less the same from the front, but this obviously has much more of the kind of greenhouse roof line that you see on this new one, which is cool, but it's just different. It's almost kind of like similar shape to like what the Chevelle had in 69, 70, 71. Yeah, where it's kind of more of that, it comes down, but it all kind of meets there at the tail. There is no just flat trunk area or anything. It's all very angular, which I like, but for the Charger, for whatever reason, I actually prefer the later version, where it's much more of a I wouldn't call it a notchback, because it still had those flying buttresses that are really cool. But yeah, 69 Charger, yeah, that roofline, it's definitely different, but it's just so iconic. I mean, I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard, so obviously that's the one that pops up in my mind when I think of a Charger. But, I mean, yeah, iconic. And, of course, like watching Bullet or something, the bad guys drove that Charger. That also was stuck in my mind from being a very young kid. But, man, those are just awesome. But, yeah, you can see how long that rear deck is by comparison. But, yeah. Oh, thanks, Flag. Hey, Dane, dropping by to give you props. You stream more often throughout the week than some full-time streamers I know on here. Hey, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm not streaming for like 10 hours on end like some people, but I got a day job I got to do. So obviously, I only get a limited time where I can really pop on here in between, obviously, normal adult stuff I got to do, shopping and having dinner and all that. But yeah, I try and find a little bit of time on here each week to do this. So thank you. Anyway, let's get back to the video and see what Sketchmonkey has to say.
Is a winning concept for the brand, because as I said, this will be just as beautiful today as it will be in 50 years. I love this treatment of the C-pillar as well. Very thick, true to the original. It sticks a little bit further back than the original. I'm going to show you that when we talk about the side view in just a second here. Looking at the front view, we have the new logo for
the Fratzog.
Electric cars of Dodge.
Now, granted, I'm sure for like the real Dodge fanboys, they already know this, but that logo is not new. It's existed, just not for a very long time. It was kind of in Dodge's circulation during the 60s and into like the early to mid 70s, but they haven't had it on any production cars for a very long time. However, it's a very dope looking symbol. It makes it look like the car's nuclear powered or something. It's kind of cool. I like that. But yeah, I guess from what I understand, that's going to be kind of their symbol for their EV cars going forward. It's just supposed to kind of symbolize like the muscle side of the EV game for Dodge products specifically.
I love the fact that we have one single LED stretching.
Oh no, Alex, what the hell? I was on your channel waiting and never saw you went live. Thanks, Twitch. I wonder if you needed to like update the page or something. That's so weird. I'm wondering if people were actually just sitting there waiting and they never saw it go live, and I've been live. Dude, I've been live for 40 minutes. I'm sorry, Alex. I told you I was going to go on, but shoot, missed it.
All across the front end. We also
Oh, you know what? Okay, while he's doing this, I do want to point this out, actually, because I've noticed, yeah, I don't have a ton of experience with Twitch, but the way Twitch is set up, your video on demand, the videos of the finished streams after they're done, they sit on my page for like maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks, something like that, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then they disappear. But I think they disappear for good. It's not like Instagram where there's an archive. So if there's stuff that's in these videos that you really like and you find yourself with a little time on your hands, I'd really appreciate it if you actually clipped out like some of the sections that you liked. And you can do that. I think Twitch lets you actually make clips out of anything in the stream. So you can just like pick a beginning and an end point, and then it saves it as an actual video clip. And then it gets saved on my channel so other people can check it out. So that if they don't have time to watch the whole stream, they can actually see those on a more individual basis. I find usually it's actually really helpful if just when I'm looking at a given video to kind of just do the start and end of that. And then maybe for funskis, you can, grab some moments, maybe if I have like a ridiculous reaction to something in between that's funny and it can be isolated. But I don't think there's any time limit to like how long any of those can be. It's just kind of a thing where, yeah, no, I definitely would appreciate if people actually clip some of these, because as I understand it, the clips stick around. The clips last. It's just if Twitch were to save all the video footage of all the people streaming all the time, servers would just be absolutely destroyed. So yeah, they have to actually have them fade away after a certain amount of time. So there's like a week or two where they're active and then they disappear. But anyway, all my past videos of my live streams and stuff, you can go back to those, skim through the stuff that you want or don't want, and then you can like isolate the clips, save those clips, come up with a funny title, I don't care, something. I'd just be really happy to see some stuff saved and see what people like, so that I can build on this in the future and kind of isolate the stuff that people want to see. That's all. I'm just asking, you know, if you got time. Thanks.
We have these details in the LEDs kind of sticking back into this air vent. This is actually an integrated wing in the front end. And looking at the interior, I think they did nail the interior as well. It's a beautiful, cozy looking interior.
Oh, look at that kind of pistol grippy looking shifter
going on, but it's still a very simplistic design. So you can...
Which, by the way, you're thinking, wait, but this is an EV. Why is there a shifter? Dodge managed to give this thing something of a transmission. They didn't really give a lot of details about it, but suffice to say, something there. It's going to be a multi-speed transmission. I know like the Porsche Taycan has a 2-gear setup, and I know like the higher end, like Model S, you know, whatever this, that, and the Model X have some kind of setup where that works. I don't recall if it's actually 2-speed or not for the really high end ones like the Plaid and stuff, but let me know if you know. Yeah, I was curious about that. So apparently they really want to give you that muscle car feel, even though they know no V8.
Can't have a very complex interior if you're gonna have an exterior that looks this simplistic and beautiful. These are some detailed sketches of the interior. For example, the gear selector right here looks pretty traditional, and I like that. We also have the Christmas tree design here in the launch button. So you flip this up, then you have a launch button. This is probably the on button as well. It looks like it's just a regular on button, but I love that they try to implement the feeling of an internal combustion engine in their EVs. I really appreciate the effort. Also, with the sound of this thing, it actually is a pretty loud EV, and I think it's cool. It might be a gimmick.
The noise remains controversial as to whether people actually like it or not. I feel kind of on the fence about it. I like the idea that Dodge wants to go the obnoxious route and you take something that's inherently quiet like an EV and then make it loud as shit just because they think it's fun. And it appeals to their core audience for sure. However, the problem is you're also battling the fact that their core audience just like hates EVs to a fault for the most part. Like, ordinary people aren't going to mind so much, but there's a certain subset of the crowd there that get real mad if you even mention EVs. It's kind of a bummer. I understand somebody's going to throw a whole bunch of like, actually, strip mining is... Yeah, okay, we've all heard it, okay? We've seen the comment sections. But point stands, stuff's happening. So we're rolling with it. And we'll just make do as we go along. But I appreciate that they're trying something a little different. Yeah, the Porsche Taycan makes a sound. It sounds very Jetsons-y. It's actually pretty cool, but you expect... I mean, it looks like very futuristic, and it sounds like it. But in this case, you're trying to go for a muscle thing. I don't know if it's just not coming through when I look at like the Instagram videos and TikTok I saw on YouTube and stuff. The sound, it feels like it's all like mids and treble. I don't hear much bass. It didn't feel like it was the kind of thing that was like rumble your body, except when it was idling, which is another weird concept for an EV, but apparently it does that too. So I'm just really curious to see how this whole thing pans out, but I want to reserve judgment on the sound until I actually hear it in person, because I got a feeling that recording equipment doesn't really do it justice. It sounds so low bitrate weird, just like a vacuum cleaner crossed with like a Revy 4-cylinder, but with some like 6-cylinder overtime. It's strange. It's very strange.
But still, I appreciate the effort. Now, they say that this is a concept car, but when I look...
It's probably pretty close to production, though, knowing Dodge.
Beautiful piece of art. It looks like it's ready for production right now. I can promise you that this is almost 95% finished to what the production version will look like. I love this design. It's such a cool design. I almost fell off my chair when I saw this. We have this air duct right here, so you see the air goes in here and then flows in up above the hood like this. Very cool design, something that you could not do if you have a big massive V8 out here. It's going to be very tight to have designs like this in an internal combustion engine because there's simply no space. These wheels, I want to talk about these wheels as well. I think they look really good. They are still probably very efficient EV wheels, but the thing is, they don't necessarily look like they have this, you know, play.
For some reason, they kind of reminded me of like the, what do they call them, the salad shooters or the saw blades that like C4 Corvettes used to have. It kind of felt like a take on those sorts of wheels, but I realize they're also probably inspired by some other very common wheels from like the 80s and 90s, even though this is a very 60s, 70s type design.
Design that a lot of EVs have that I don't think look really good. And these look
oh no, I think the hood vent is one of the absolute most genius ideas to take something and give it the profile of looking like a super boxy muscle car, but actually making it super efficient. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, as much as people are going to bitch like, it doesn't look like a muscle car or whatever if they made it into a bar of soap, which I'm glad they didn't, there's still going to be people who, on the other end of the spectrum, complain, I'd like it, but it just doesn't have the best range, to which, you know, you should complain, well, you wanted the looks, so there's compromises somewhere in there. I just don't know what they are yet because they haven't really given us many figures to go off of yet. We're pretty much only aware of what we can see. They haven't given too much beyond that.
For the production, it has some reminders of the original 60s and 70s design here in a new modern take.
Also, I bet it's going to be real fun to detail one of these. You're spraying down the hood and all the water just comes shooting out of the grill like a waterfall.
I want to show you the side view here. I'm going to compare it in a minute to the original Charger, but the thing that we have in the greenhouse here that stands out from the original one is how far back the greenhouse goes.
Yeah, I would say it's probably 20% longer than I would have expected on a design like that. Like if you, in Photoshop, you had that side profile and you just took that rear and you moved it, yeah, 10, 15, maybe 20% forward and just kept the shape of the haunches on the rear the same. You just push that greenhouse forward. That would be more aesthetically pleasing to me, knowing that I'm expecting to see a Charger. But from a practical consideration side of things, as someone who, honestly, I'm looking at this thing in terms of the package and I'm thinking, that might actually be a cool vehicle to own. With the hatchback and stuff, that really speaks to me, and the all-wheel drive with, you know, all that stuff, that appeals to me. And I'm not somebody who really ever would have bought a Dodge before, except maybe a, you know, second gen Viper, the GTS, like a 96 or 97 or something. But I've been inside of one of those and the interiors are, whew. The rest of the experience is very cool though. But yeah, no, that appeals to me from a practical side. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn on it. Like, I really like it, but there's also the part of me that's like, no, but I still really, really want to see the Hyundai Ioniq 5 N come out and see what happens with that, because I suspect that's going to be close to 600 horsepower all-wheel drive, and it looks like a super cool modern take on like a Lancia Delta Integrale style hatchback, so also cool.
So it sticks back a little further here than the 60s, and that obviously allows to have 4 people in here sitting pretty comfortably, and I think that's the reason why the rear end of the greenhouse is sticking back further than we have in the original. If there's one thing that
I'm soaking in a bucket of F11 for easy cleaning. Oh god.
This portion right here, it looks maybe a little bubbly.
It's a little tubby. It's a little chunky, you know. It got a little flab back there. I like the super thick C-pillar. It's just the area where it drops down onto the trunk space that looks a little, I don't know, not the best. But once again, you're trying to make something that so close. It's so close. Now, don't get me wrong. If you could have this exact design, but you just changed the greenhouse so that you went full Magnum with that thing, or like Chevy Nomad style, but with a Charger aesthetic, that would be sick. You just have like a shooting brake, 2 doors, long kind of, you know, 2-row wagon style thing. That would be sick. I would love that. I would buy that in an instant.
In the rear end in this portion, but comparing this to, for example, the Mercedes EQS, the EV6, which
Don't get me started on the EQS. That thing is hideous. I hate that car.
are typical bubble EV designs. This is what I'm talking about. Again, Dodge doesn't compromise in their design. They kept the pretty much an original Charger design, and I'm sure this will still be an effective car when it comes to range, even though it has a boxy design like this. Looking at the interior real quick before we compare the side view to the original, I like this interior.
That looks like a
really cool,
pretty
and this is
close to
one another
production ready
reason why I
interior,
think this
minus
is
some of
actually
like the super
production version
individualistic
that they showed
stuff.
is gonna be
That looks pretty
similar
close.
to, like the Nissan Z Proto when they launched that and called that a concept.
Yeah, they basically had it ready.
Then the Nissan Z came out. It was essentially exactly the same as the Z Proto. They had just added some indicators and door handles and stuff in the front end. And we have one screen here. We have one bigger screen as the gauge cluster.
Alex. Yeah, no, that poor girl just sitting in the car when we watched the reveal yesterday did not move, just sat there as the car just, you know, idled or whatever. I mean, she looked kind of bored to be there. Normally you think, oh, they're gonna be excited to be there, but no, it seemed like maybe she was like one of the tech's daughters or something. It was just kind of like, okay, I have to do this thing now.
The simplicity of it and the beauty.
Now that's sick. That's the hatchback area, at least as it's rendered by the artist. It looks like because EV, they got more space down below, so there's actually going to be like some big pockets you can kind of dip stuff down into. I'm not entirely sure. That looks like just like a little bridge that sticks out, almost like it's empty space underneath it. So it's just almost like a tongue that sticks out, creates kind of a bridge. I don't know. Interesting. But if that thing ends up being as practical as it looks, man, I'd be all over that. Because one thing I find frustrating about my Jag is I love the hatchback. The hatchback has so much space back there. Way better than other, you know, coupes that just have a trunk or something. I can actually fit like a large screen TV if I go and buy one at Best Buy or something. Like I can fit it back there. But not as easily as you can with this, where the rear seats fold down. That's thinking like a utility vehicle style. That is genius, because you still have the super badass exterior. You're just getting a little more practicality as a treat. And I like that.
Beauty of the design in here still feels like it has been designed by a human pen. A human designer sketched this out, and that's what I want to see in an interior. It doesn't really matter if you have a lot of screens. I just want to have that human touch to the design. I think we have that in these curvatures that you can see right here. Now let's have a look at the side view here of the 1969 Charger, comparing it
Okay, yeah, you can really see it there.
to this new Charger Daytona concept. Tell me if this isn't a perfect modernization of this shape. And this is what I love to see companies doing right now. Hyundai is doing it for sure with the Envision concept, bringing back
the best.
I want to see Buick do that with the Grand National as well. I want to bring back the Grand National as a modern EV.
Yes, please.
Hopefully, I don't know yet. We're gonna have to wait and see. But here we have the two key lines that I talked about. We have this shoulder line dipping into this piece right here. So we have some graphics here on the 69.
Except those aren't graphics. Those are actual indents in the door. That's the way they designed
Charger.
them.
I kind of wish we had some of that in the new design as
I mean, on the upside though, by not doing that, they're keeping the design really clean so that it ages well. So, I mean, like you were saying at the beginning, I think this will age really well. It's still just a little weird on the roofline. That's the part that's throwing me. Now, if you can make this so that it is pillarless and you can roll down not just the front but also the rear windows, oh my god, I'd be sold immediately.
well. So we can have this line still the exact same line, but maybe have a bit of a graphic right here like we have in the original. So there are two sharp lines and it's being cut in the right position, because what this does now, it creates a forward motion. We have a shorter line combined with this long, beautiful shoulder line, both super sharp, but it creates a nice movement forward.
Look like G. Davis's Toyota driving gloves back there.
The greenhouse. What we could do here, just to have some fun, we could copy this piece and see what happens if we move this piece forward. It's
oh, he's gonna do what I was wondering. Sweet.
Slightly move it forward to maybe this point right here, and you can see.
Oh my god, that looks so much better just doing that.
Like this as well. I think this could be an option to maybe have it something like this.
That would be sick.
Actually be a really cool design.
Come on.
maybe have it something like this. I think that would actually be a really cool.
You can't deny that is more badass just with that simple little tweak. What was I saying? 10 to 20% forward from where it's at. Oh my god, that is mwah. Love it.
Design. So here you can see just how moving it a couple of inches back and forth create a totally new perception of this design. So
Yeah.
I think it would be cool for if Dodge.
This is exactly what I was
version of
hoping
this
to see.
Two-seater, maybe have some luggage space in the rear and have a longer boot like we have in the original 69. I'm really
But the big thing is, that's where it feels like it might actually be closer to production than they're letting on, because the way the greenhouse is shaped, they don't have to account for, oh no, we can't fit people in the back seat. No, they'll fit just fine because the roofline doesn't come in on your head like that. Mopart's sending him a job offer right now.
excited about this design. I think Dodge made a fantastic job just bringing back the coolness to Dodge from the launch of the Hornet yesterday. And I believe that this new EV era that's coming, we're going to have new kings of design will emerge while others will fall. I think a lot of automotive companies have been sort of challenged by the internal combustion packaging and struggle to
No,
find
EV
new
opens
life
it
in
up
the
to all
design.
kinds of design possibilities. You don't have to follow the rules of years past when it came to car design. I mean, when it came to, oh, well, I get it. Like sometimes people are like, oh, cool, Power Dome hood was a result of an engine that didn't clear the original hood. Okay, that's cool. I get that. But now you can do all kinds of interesting stuff. We can get rid of some of these, bar of soap NPC cars that we see everywhere. Granted, I think that's not going to be the case because crossovers are going to rule the world. But for those of us who still care about, exciting car design, I think this is a really good first step.
In overstyling, confusion, and a flood of uninspired car designs, the EV layout and packaging is already changing that, as we see here, and with the Hyundai cars and also Kia as well. We can say what we want about the lack of soul in EVs, and I completely understand where that is coming from. But from a design standpoint, EVs will bring new life to brands that we never thought of as cool before. And as it stands right now, Dodge is showing us how it's done and leading the pack with the Charger Daytona. And I can't wait to
The more time I spend looking at it, the more I'm actually convinced I do kind of want it. Yeah. We'll see what the future holds, but no, that the fact that it's a hatchback and all-wheel drive, I mean, even if I got some RT version that's middle of the pack, in terms of power or whatever, that's a very appealing package overall. I'll take that over a CUV any day. If it still allows me to have a similar amount of space inside, but look a bajillion times better than as somebody described it today, basically crossover designs are all variations of someone's big toe. Something like that. Alex, hey, no yellow lip guards. It can be done. Yeah, I know, right? What? Okay. Oh, I got a question for you guys. So if there's no yellow lip guards on this, on any kind of splitter or whatever, if there's no yellow, stickers on it, what's going to be the new yellow sticker? What's going to be the new thing that just comes as a form of packaging when it's delivered in transit, and then everybody decides it's actually an aesthetic choice and they want to keep it, and it just becomes this dumb thing that turns into a cool thing that turns back into a dumb thing because it was actually dumb all along? I want to know. What do you think it'll be? Because I've got some ideas, but I'd like to hear other suggestions. Okay.
The suburb is long.
Oh my god, we're going to watch a video about suburbs? Okay, we're not quite there yet. I want to watch Linus Tech Tips talking about dash cams because I am I'm a fan of my dash cam. Are they perfect? Absolutely not, but I'm very curious to hear why everyone is wasting money on dash cams. Please inform me. I want to know where I'm screwing up. My van doesn't have a dash cam, although I felt like it probably should. And there's been some, close calls. Virtually never me. I don't create those situations, but it's crazy. You find yourself in them anyway. Also, this makes me kind of want to watch some crazy Russian dash cam videos or something. Maybe we'll do that later. But in the meantime, oh boy. So Flack, you've already seen this one. I haven't. So am I in for a treat or is this going to suck? Glued on pool noodles on the doors. Why on the doors, Alex? That sounds horrible. Okay, let's see what Linus says.
Buying a car is a major decision, and you'll want to do everything you can to protect your investment. Oh! Oh, God! Oh, what the? That guy just hit me. Good thing I caught his license plate on one of my, many trusty dash cams. This one's kind of crap. This one, too. Well, surely my expensive one will. No, come on! It's unusable! What the heck is going on here? I spent over $1,000 on a dozen of the top-rated dash cams on Amazon.
I'm guessing it's probably gonna do with the sensors that are built into them not being able to distinguish very important small details, or is it gonna be something totally different than that?
And almost every single one sucks to the point of being basically unusable. How did this happen? I did my homework. I got the most recommended. I got the highest rated units. I thought.
I can't wait until they start shitting on a Van True, because that's what I got. Uh-oh.
I picked up something really.
I have one of the 3-angle ones where in the Jag I've got it. So it's the forward-facing camera on the front, obviously. That's a 4K camera. Then for the rear-facing on that same module, it faces back into the passenger compartment, so you actually see yourself there. That's like 1080. Oh no, that one might be 1440 or possibly 4K also. Then I've got it run through like the little tucked next to the headliner, all the way along the door trim, all the way to the back, where there's a 1080 camera that points out the back out of the back hatch. So I'm a little bit curious. Oh, see that itty bitty sensor suck. Full frame for the win. Yeah, full frame is not gonna be super feasible in a dash cam form factor, but I'm looking forward to seeing. So yeah, I guess I did guess why this is gonna suck, but let's go, let's watch.
Reliable. Why aren't these things decent? Like our sponsor.
Build Redux. For competitive, start your new build today.
Hilarious. This video started over 3 years ago when my wife came across some hilarious examples of blatant insurance fraud that was prevented
those videos are
by
awesome.
dash
I
cam
love
footage.
those.
She asked me to get some dash cams for our cars. No problem.
Yeah, Alex, I kind of figured the resolutions are a lie because I've played back that footage, and someone who edits video footage for a living, or at least I used to, now I have help, thank God. I could definitely tell when, you know, the image quality is being scaled up and very poorly at that. So yeah, the tiny sensors are always going to be a problem until they can figure out how to make that better. But yeah, sponsor bits are best. I could feel it. Just, you could sniff it out. Here it comes.
Problem, said I, and I headed over to Amazon where, to my surprise, nearly everything was obscenely priced, full of misleading specs, covered in obviously paid reviews, or sometimes all three. Long story short, I settled on a cheap and cheerful unit with decent reviews and bought 2 of them, not one of which even managed to power on. So I gave up.
Good start.
Then, one of our new writers overheard me recounting this story and went, I can look into that. I need a dash cam too. And 2 weeks later, we've learned a lot. To start with, the dash cam market is still not as straightforward as one might hope. Marketing materials for cheaper dash cams can be confusing and contradictory, and their performance is basically impossible to compare without trying them side by side in the real world. Dash cams take all the issues of reviewing a regular camera and they add on a ton of extra usability features that need to be evaluated. Parking mode, discreteness, loop recording, gravity sensors, even the length of the cable matters.
No, that is true though. That is absolutely true. Think like on my Van True camera, the cord was long enough to properly go all the way to the back of the jack. Totally fits the space. As a matter of fact, it actually had a lot of slack, so I had to find a way to like tuck that into the seats and then up along the headliner, but it works. Yeah, no, just based on my experience with them though, like even if this video says they're all shit and they all suck, just having it, like, maybe it's a placebo effect. I feel better having it in the car. And mine does have, like, the proximity feature stuff. Like, it notices if there's motion outside the car, it'll turn on. Or it'll detect if there's a vibration. Like, if there's an earthquake, it would start recording. That kind of stuff. So, yeah. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. That's the part that sucks, is if I can't read somebody's license plate when it's the whole point of it, yeah, it does kind of start to be a problem. But at least you can make out what car is, like, about to run into you. Well, maybe I'm about to find out that that sucks too.
Long and you've got an unsightly coil of wire to hide, too short and it could be a challenge to reach your power source. It's a lot to take in. The good news is that if all you want is proof of fault, or lack thereof, in the event of an accident, it's still pretty hard to go wrong. Our value pick is the Thinkware F70. It's pretty bare bones in terms of features, lacking creature comforts like GPS data, or even a screen for that matter, but it is dead simple to set up since it doesn't need to be paired to an app. The included 3M mounting tape is...
Okay, to be fair, my Vantrue didn't require an app either. It worked totally on its own. That's fine. It just records to an SD card.
Quite permanent. And while it won't be winning any awards for image quality, we were able to clearly identify the vehicles and people in our footage, and we could even make out license plates, at least on stationary cars. That's pretty okay, especially for just $70 US.
Oh, that's good.
But there were situations where it left us wanting a bit more. Now our target price was under $100, and we ended up with a wide range of features.
Okay, to be fair, my Vantrue, I think I spent like $230 on it, maybe $220. Not like the $500 or $600 insane ones, but it's not the cheapest either. But I'm getting 3 camera angles, so it kind of felt like it was worth it. But damn it, I'm gonna be told that it's a placebo too. I can't wait for this to make me mad. Thanks, guys.
And image quality. So let's make our way through the rest of them from cheapest to most expensive. This is the A20 from Bayun, a brand with
a brand
no
name
website,
you can
but
trust.
They do have the lucky number 8 spot in the Amazon bestsellers list. You might not expect much for $60, and if that's the case, boy, are you ever a savvy shopper. Image quality during the late hours of the day is lacking, and at night is so bad that you'd think you were filming on a potato. Making matters worse, the screen doesn't automatically dim, so you'll be constantly, vibrantly reminded of how little useful information your camera is capturing. The BT13 comes in at $10 more.
That looks like it's got infrared,
on Amazon,
or at least some cheap approximation of it.
It comes courtesy of a mystery meat brand with no website, this time called THROWDOWN. It's not that hard to have a website, guys. I've got one. It's full of great deals, like these $9 mystery cable ties.
These segues, am I right?
LTTstore.com. Daylight quality is grainier than the A20 for sure, but text is actually slightly easier to read, indicating that THROWDOWN might be using a better sensor, but what they aren't doing is much in the way of post-processing to enhance the image quality. And this is especially apparent at night, where the A20 actually looks somewhat decent in comparison. Also, like the Bayun, the screen stays on by default. Annoying, but one interesting feature it has at least is that the rear camera input is mini HDMI. So if you wanted to use a decent camera for your rear view, the THROWDOWN could act as your screen and save your backups.
All I can imagine though is that some poor schmuck goes out and gets like a Sony a7 III and uses it as his dash cam in the back. I mean, people are just gonna look at that and be like, oh sweet, free camera, then break into your car and steal your camera. I mean, nobody thinks that when they're looking at a dash cam. They're just like, oh, look, a dash cam.
Otherwise, we stand by our recommendation of the Thinkware F70 at this price. And at $80 for that matter. These two chunky boys didn't make it into our side-by-side tests due to their considerable bulk. Both have cabin-facing cameras though, so realistically they're designed more for an Uber driver audience anyway. The T1 comes from eWay, the first manufacturer with an actual website. And in broad daylight, driving away from the sun, like ideal conditions, it can't seem to make out the words on many road signs, let alone other important details. Not a good showing for the second highest rated unit with a cabin camera. Chonker number 2 is the D30H from Pruvio. They claim it's a 4K camera, which, if true, could be a really great value. But out of the box, the metadata for the files clearly reads 1080p. With that aside,
you know what I wonder though, and this doesn't excuse it at all, but I'm wondering, looking at it, if it's possible that you have to go into a menu and tell it to record at a higher resolution. I don't know, maybe, but I don't know if he'll touch on that or not. Oh, hey, first time chatter. Hello, got T71 win or Zin. I wonder if they'll touch on the iRoad brand. You know, I don't know. I'm finding out along with you guys. So apparently a couple of you guys have actually watched this, so you know what's going to happen. but my assumption was that I would be told the sensors in these things are too small and thus have a difficult time creating useful images. But, you know, I mean, the whole point is so you can read a license plate and signs and stuff like that. Although GPS coordinates and stuff can help back up like location type stuff, obviously. So if you get hit in a particular place and you need to say, oh, is this time and all that, you can still do that, even if the image isn't up to par. But identifying another person's vehicle, unless it's very unique, yeah, license plate, kind of important. Got to be able to read it.
In the daylight, it can read signs, which is an improvement over the Bayou.
That was actually legible.
But license plates are still elusive.
Also true, Alex. Karens will never change their resolutions. They'll just Karen. They'll resolve to continue Karening.
Unless at a complete stop and positioned just right. One cool feature, though, is that it uses capacitors instead of lithium batteries, unlike the rest of the cameras we've talked about already.
That is one thing that my Van True says. It has a super capacitor, so it can actually handle like high heat, and I'll vouch for that. I mean, the thing sits in the car all day, and some of the last few days, my car's thermometer was saying it was 127 degrees outside, which obviously it wasn't, but where the sensor was, it was. And I know my dash cam was frying because I had a, you know, reflective foil, you know, windscreen cover on the inside there. And of course, with the dash cam being where it is, mounted to the windshield, the screen goes behind the dash cam on my side of it. So the dash cam is attached to the glass, and then I got the screen, and then I sit, you know, behind that as I'm getting in or out of the car. So it's basically trapping the dash cam in there in the hottest part on the glass. So it still managed to work. For right or for wrong, it did seem to work.
This is a nice to have because lithium batteries, especially when subjected to heat and when they're constantly fully charged, wear out more quickly, which can lead to battery swelling and, in extreme cases, fire. Let's step up our budget. Woo. Surely for $100, this sponsored listing for the Rexing V1 4K will be a good choice, right? I mean, it has 4K right in the name, right? And Forbes named it the best dash cam for a tighter budget of 2022.
I wonder how much Forbes got paid.
Let's see how that's going. Actually, not too bad, Forbes.
Okay.
Looking at the videos from around dusk,
I can read that license plate. Resolution, I mean, it's a little muddy around the details, but we're looking at this in 4K, and I can clearly see that, so it's not nothing.
It is slightly clearer than our $70 F70, but only slightly. Field of view, colors, ability to make out text, all of that is pretty much the same, which means that unless you really need the screen, it doesn't feel worth spending 43% more. Maybe Garmin can change my mind? They used to be very well known for their GPS offerings. Their compact Dashcam Mini 2 was a little out of our price range at $110, but hey, what's 10 extra bucks for the much better brand name one, right? Well, not right, but at least not wrong. It performs about as well as the V1 4K. Maybe a bit better or worse depending on the circumstances. And it has some nice features available, but those features require an app, and that app requires an account, and that account requires...
Okay, that's the kind of shit I hate. I hate that. That's so annoying. Stop giving me more things I have to subscribe to. Jesus Christ.
Requires you to give Garmin your information, which is super. Now, surely,
unless you want to follow and or subscribe to this Twitch stream, but that can't happen yet. But sometime in the future, if you feel that way, I would not mind that, obviously. But, you know, just, you know, for car things.
Number one pick on Amazon is going to ride in and save the day, right? At $120, it is now firmly beyond our original price.
Yeah, I mean, the other guy's detail. I can't have a side hustle for funsies? Anyway.
It's Target, but what's another 10 bucks if it's a lot better, right? Here we go. Really? At dusk, the Rove R2 4K manages to capture less detail than our budget F70, and at night, it's more of the same. Signs are readable, sometimes, if you're lucky. But there is one last hope. It's the darling of budget dashcam stands across the internet, and it happens to nail our $100 budget exactly. It boasts true 1440p recording with easy and secure mounting, and comes from a manufacturer that accepts community feedback and maintains their products through firmware updates. It's even popular enough to get into the top 20 on Amazon, and it's the Viofo A19 V3. All of which sounds great, but what about the image quality?
I was waiting for him to say about so I could hear about.
I mean, in fairness, it is the best we've seen so far,
But that's not saying a lot, is it?
especially when it comes to the finer details, and it's $20 cheaper than some of the competition. But I can't help but be a little disappointed. It just feels like no matter which brand we buy, and no matter how much we spend, we're ending up with pretty much the same crappy image, even from our best camera. So let's do something I wouldn't actually recommend and completely blow our budget. These are the Blackview DR750X Plus and the Thinkware U1000. The DR750X is Blackview's second most expensive one-channel dash cam at $270 US.
Oh no, that's kind of close to what I spent on mine.
A back-illuminated image sensor with enhanced night vision and support for LTE cloud storage backup. And the Thinkware U1000, well, that's Thinkware's flagship device, the best of the best. 150-degree viewing angle, 1440p 60 FPS recording, geofencing with push notifications, red light camera detection, and picture quality that... Oh, come on! The Blackview is as bad as the crappy Chinese
look at
cameras,
Previa.
and the U1000 is barely better than the A19 V3, if at all. Does have some creature comforts. I mean, I guess it's nice that it tells me when there's a red light camera coming up ahead.
Red light camera in 200 meters.
So that I can stop at it instead of just blowing through like I normally would. I mean, this thing's gonna pay for itself and save traffic tickets. And the geofencing feature, okay, that legitimately could come in handy once my kids are old enough to drive. And maybe Blackview's cloud storage would come in handy in case the camera got destroyed in a crash. But at more than double, up to quadruple the prices of these other options, I am frankly blown away that there's anything but a colossal improvement in the quality of capturing video out the front of my windshield. You know, the entire purpose of these devices. What is going on here? I mean, if I were to...
They got little bitty sensors, just tiny, tiny little sensors. Spend enough time around cameras, you begin to understand that sensors make almost all of the difference.
Put a $400 GoPro in my car instead of one of these cameras, it would look amazing.
Huh?
How are these all so bad? Well, here's a hint. You might see 9 dash cams attached to this car. You know what I see? 2 dash cams in 9 different plastic shells. Listen to these startup chimes. Look at these default folder structures. Heck, even just look at the rear cameras that come with some of these. Notice any similarities?
Oh my God, it's almost like they're all the same.
Thousands of dash cam brands, but there are only a handful of companies that actually manufacture the 2 most important components, the SoC and the CMOS image sensor.
Now, I'm very familiar with the CMOS, but not so much the other.
In SoCs, the major player is Taiwanese fabless semiconductor manufacturer Novatech, not to be confused with the Russian natural gas corporation of the same name. Their bread and butter is LCD controllers for companies like Asus or Sony. But on the side...
Yeah, TE71. Big name camera brands ought to sell their sensors to them dash cam makers. I mean, yeah, although they seem to really enjoy just swindling suckers too. I mean, yeah, depending on the kind of products you're looking at, there are definitely a lot out there where it's just the same thing in a different package, whatever. And that's definitely something. I mean, the detailing community's got it, car community's got it, parts, all that stuff. I mean, TVs, lots of electronics in particular, because I mean, there's only so many different ways you can engineer the stuff that's meant to approach similar specs. So it's interesting. But yeah, CMOS is best. I agree, Alex. But yeah, usually multiple CMOS is best. But I'm guessing most of these dash cams only bother putting one in.
They also make camera SoCs, like the NT96660 and the NT96650.
Oh, SoC is system on a chip. Get it now.
5. With the numbering scheme not easily obtainable by the general public, it's hard to tell exactly what the specs of these chips are or when they were designed, but from what we could glean online, the 96660 was built sometime around or before 2017, and the last 2 digits appear to be the series and iteration. So of our 10 dash cams in that near $100 range, 8 of them were using Novatech SoCs, and Viofo was one of the few examples we could find of any camera using an SoC where the second to last digit was higher than 6, meaning most of them are using 5-year-old technology at best. Identifying a Novatech system is fairly easy. They often have.
Well, and it's also hard to find this information on a lot of this stuff because, like he was saying, some of them don't even have a website because they're just a brand name to slap on this stuff. Amazon and eBay are particularly bad with this kind of stuff. You'll find a lot of shit just like with names you've never heard of, and that's fine. Sometimes they're like up and coming brands that haven't had a chance to establish themselves yet, but you can kind of tell when you're seeing something like, oh, here's a very, cheap knockoff, insert, you see with tires too, like Soitomo or Linglong tires or something like that, where, yeah, wouldn't necessarily trust them to be quite the same durability as like your more traditional makes that you might be familiar with. But at the same time, you don't want to sit there and be an elitist about it either. It's just there's a time and a place. The thing that goes between your vehicle and the road, very important. But with dash cams and stuff, I can kind of see where it. AliExpress too. Oh my God, AliExpress is particularly Alibaba stuff is that's up there too for sure. Actually, especially.
Or use the default backup cameras, or even have folder structures that include the name Novatech. Other manufacturers of SoCs include HiSilicon from Huawei, ThinkWare's manufacturer of choice, Ambarella, and the very infrequently used Allwinner. In our limited searches, we could not seem to find the SoC manufacturers for Blackview or for Garmin products, though it's fairly likely that they're using one of these 3. As for CMOS image sensors,
Now I'm really curious. If I look up I think it was similar to this one. This looks like the one I've got in the Jag. Yeah, it's got the 4 1/2, and it's got the third one actually mounted out back. But yeah, this is the one I use in the Jag. I happen to really like this one. Like, I'm a big fan of it, but at the same time, yeah, I paid a little less than that for it though. It must have been on sale or something. It was on Amazon, but at least I knew like Vantrue was at least more of a brand name in this mix, but then again, I know that doesn't count for a lot in this space. So anyway, that's what I use, and I've been really happy with it. But that's my own personal take on it. So take that with a grain of salt or whatever you will. But I like it. Still, this video is just going to piss me off. Oh, wrong video.
Nearly every company uses Sony Starvis, a subcategory of their XMORs.
Hey, that's the Starvis. That's what mine has.
XMORs are used in nearly everything from phone cameras in Apple and Samsung phones alike to high-end consumer cameras to the lowest-end webcams. And the Starvis...
Wow, feeling called out. I have a Razer Keo over on my Xbox over there as we speak.
Is the type that is specifically designed for security cameras and other similar applications that require decent low-light performance. The most common sensor to find in dash cams right now is the IMX335. It's a perfectly fine sensor.
Vantrue, Jag fake. I'll have you know, my Jag and my Van are both true. And the Vantrue is true as well.
They're actually capable of 1440p video with a reasonable enough level of clarity, even in low light. The Rove and the Viofo both use this sensor, so then you would think they would have the same image quality, right? Clearly there's a difference though. What it could be is something to do with Rove using its limited processing power to upscale the image to 4K. Or it could have to do with the Rode using an NT9660 processor, while the Viofo uses an evidently newer NT96670. For the several $100s more that you would pay for the ThinkWare U1000, you're getting a Starvis IMX 334, which appears to be the next level up from the 335. Totally intuitive. But the difference, as far as we've been able to see, isn't that great.
Wait, it showed the megapixel. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
But the difference, as far as we've been able to see, isn't that great. If I could put it in PC
And thank you,
gamer
Alex, for confirming.
It's kind of like upgrading your graphics card from a 3070 to a 3070 Ti, but for double or triple the price.
Which would be dumb.
There are a few other sensor manufacturers, like OmniVision or Galaxy Core, but these are only used occasionally, and image quality, at least going by the other reviews, doesn't seem to be a huge improvement there either. One great thing about Sony being the big kahuna in image sensors is that they're pretty open with their datasheets. So if you know what image sensor a camera uses, you can at least find some basic information on it. But that's only going to take you so far without having information on the SoC, or, probably more importantly, the software algorithms that will be running to process the raw image. The biggest takeaway here then is that no matter which dash cam you choose, there is kind of this hard limit on image quality that can be achieved at the moment. And some of the low-end models, they're already pretty close to that limit, so you're either going to be settling for good enough, or, as we suggested before, you could throw a GoPro up on your windshield with all the associated inconvenience that comes with that. Did I remember to roll it? And the problem is I doubt that this is going to change anytime soon, because the top dashcam companies seem to be more interested in adding features, like the ability to string 5 cameras together or let you review your footage with full gyroscopic readouts, rather than actually making a camera that can read a bloody license plate 10 feet in front of you. So if you're in the market for a dashcam, ignore the Amazon reviews. F70 for the budget shoppers out there, and Viofo A19 V3 for pretty much everyone else. Their video quality isn't nearly as far off the top of the line as you would think, and neither of them is going to put you at major risk of having your window smashed to steal your dashcam. If you want to add a rear cam as well, the A129 Plus or similar offerings from Viofo will allow you to do that as well, also without breaking the bank. Now let's break our bank, where our sponsor puts money. FreshBooks.
FreshBooks. Yeah, so those texts I was just doing there, I was just talking to Anthony. Yeah, so we are planning on doing a little Sea of Thieves later on tonight. Don't know quite how soon that's going to be, but it may be in like half an hour, maybe as long as an hour. We're kind of seeing where that goes, but basically we want to sail the high seas, and we had Tony with us yesterday. That was really fun. Jamie is thinking about joining us there on his Xbox, which should be great fun if we can get him in there too. If we can really crew a 4-man ship, that'd be awesome. Point being though, I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, because he's saying it's kind of contingent upon the baby going to sleep. So assuming that can happen, then I will bounce from here over to the Xbox and we'll just stream away us playing the game. I got a hiccup lost in there. Okay, anyway, I am good with that. So yeah, just giving you a heads up on what the future might hold for us. I think it'd be pretty fun. So if you guys are interested in that, that'd be rad. And Flack, yes, I think it supports crossplay with PC. I'm pretty sure. You might want to double check that, look it up online, and let me know in the comments if that's true, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And yeah, Jamie, it's kind of a big game, but I don't think it's too processor intensive. Yeah, you'll have to download it sometime. We have so much fun playing it, and we haven't played it in a while because usually we're like Forza or something like that. But as cool as Forza is, I feel like it's very easy for it to kind of become repetitive and boring after a while. Whereas with Sea of Thieves, every time we go out, even if it feels like it's going to be a similar situation, it continues to be amusing. And I think it's more fun for people to watch probably than somebody playing a racing game at times. Even though I'm a huge car nut, even I think, you know, watching Sea of Thieves, like, even if you know nothing about it, there's just something about it that, like, gets people, it's the whole swashbuckling. They like it, just, it's fun, you know, it's fun. So yeah, I thought that'd be cool. But yeah, if you want to play sometime, absolutely. For those of you who are interested in adding me on my Xbox gamer tag, I am Great Dane Films. I don't play, you know, games a ton of the time. It's funny for somebody who's Twitch streaming right now, but I play a decent amount at times, just not as much as maybe other people you're familiar with. And yeah, like this is kind of repetitive, never finish it. Yeah, like our Forza we've been playing is Horizon 5, which huge map, all that good stuff. I have an amazing garage of cars, like 400 or 500 different cars in my garage. It's fun to build stuff, like build it up like your personality. Like if I actually had a garage, I would put these things in it and I would design them this way. But Sea of Thieves is just more fun to watch, I think. So yeah, anyway, if you're interested in playing that with us, by all means, shoot me a friend request on Xbox there. I'm not sure how that works for crossplay people, but if you can figure it out, let me know. I'd be happy to game with you guys. Also, Anthony will be on there, as I laugh every time. He couldn't get All Day Anthony, so he had to get All Day Anthony on Xbox. It's kind of hilarious. Just one L, but you'll see him on there too, probably.
FreshBooks.
Wait, I don't want to watch your ad. Stop it. Whew, okay, we're moving down the line. Oh, there's a hiccup. How do we feel about doing a little house tour? Looking forward to the next installment of Test Drive Unlimited. You know what? I used to play the Test Drive games back in the era of Test Drive, Test Drive 4, 5, and 6. And then I didn't play them for a long time, and then I saw they came out with like some new versions. I also used to play Need for Speed back in the original SE days, and 2 and 3 Hot Pursuit and 4 High Stakes, and you know, moving up through there. I kind of stopped for a while after Hot Pursuit 2, but I did play Most Wanted and some of those other ones. Yeah, no, definitely played a lot of those games. It had been a long time though. I haven't quite got back into that, except for most recently, maybe a year ago, I tried playing Heat for a while. I really loved the look and the feel, the vibes of Need for Speed Heat, but the driving mechanics just irritated the hell out of me. For some reason, it was not something I enjoyed. The drift mechanic and stuff, it was weird. I just could not get into it. Forza, both the motorsport and Horizon, just felt so much more intuitive to me. So yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but in terms of like the actual car models and stuff, I really liked what Need for Speed Heat was doing. The soundtrack was bumping, it was cool. But yeah, just something about Forza, the handling dynamics, the characters of the vehicles, it just worked better in my hands anyway. So much Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Yes, I played so much, except I had the PC versions for all those original. I got the CDs sitting around here somewhere still from back in the day. But I remembered at Christmas in 1998, my parents got me a steering wheel for the PC. We had a Pentium, what was it? A HP Pavilion with a Pentium processor and all that. I don't even remember the stats on it. But yeah, had us pretty awesome time. I even got my grandma and my great aunt to drive with the steering wheel back in Christmas in 1998. Pretty cool. That was a fun time. We'll see if these run on a Game Boy Color. Doubt that, Alex. I don't think that'll work, unfortunately. Yeah, Test Drive 5. I have like all the songs from those games stuck in my head. But before I go too far down nostalgia, GTA 5 is the best driving physics. God, GTA is awesome and fun in its own way, but the driving physics in all those GTA games, they have to do so much with those games, the driving oftentimes feels like an afterthought. Anyway, let's watch a house tour. I have no idea what this house is going to look like. I may hate it, but let's just look at the most expensive home in Park City, Utah, just a little way south of us here, where we're located up in Idaho. And this is a video on Inez Yilmazer's channel. I can never pronounce his name right. I just call him Inez or Inez. I've been watching his videos since he was a very, very small channel. I just felt like I really enjoyed his presentation, and the camaraderie between him and his camera guy, it just made me appreciate that kind of stuff. So if it comes across that way, then yeah, I really like the guy. I like the interactions they have. It can feel a little staged and cheesy at times, but I appreciate that. It doesn't come across as pretentious as it could have. Yeah, let's go. Don't worry, the B-roll will look pretentious enough on its own. I'll have to turn this down if it gets too loud. I feel like I might. Anus Yahtzee. That feels like a G. Davis character. I don't know.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Park City, Utah. Home
That
right
is a
behind me
long
is currently
deck.
on the market for $35 million, which makes it the most expensive home for sale in the city. Now, you may be asking yourself, gas?
Oh my god, I skipped ahead. My bad. I just wanted to pause it and say, okay, I know right up front, people are going to watch if they've never seen Inez before. They're going to be like, hey, that guy speaks funny. I think he has some kind of speech impediment, just like a little bit. Sometimes it comes in the form of like a lisp or something, but if you can't handle that, sorry. But he just, you know, he seems like a cool guy, so I like his videos.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Park City, Utah. Home right behind me is currently on the market for $35 million, which makes it the most expensive home for sale in the city. Now, you may be asking yourself, Ennis,
Oh no, Alex, is that true? Or are you just saying that? I honestly don't know. I just really enjoyed his older tour videos. They always seem fun, but if you're going to tell me he's secretly an asshole, I'm going to feel bad.
It was more expensive, and you'll be correct, but that home sold for a record-breaking price, no longer on the market, and that's why this property with a $35 million price tag is the most expensive home for sale in the city. Stunning modern architecture, built on...
I'll tell you what, though. I'm a fan of modern architecture, and this house already, it ain't doing it for me. This is not exciting to me. I'm almost wondering if I want to watch the rest of this video. We only just started. But I'll go ahead and let that keep playing. I'm going to just peek on another window, see if I can find a cooler one.
On an extremely private 5.4 acre lot, amazing indoor-outdoor flow. We have a water feature that runs through the entire property, and I love how it's integrated to its surroundings.
Oh, now I get it, Alex. I actually believed you for a second.
The rest of the specs. And before we start, I want to give big thanks to the listing agent, Paul Benson, for giving us the honor to tour his amazing listing and share it with all of you. And now, let's begin.
Mad laps in that pool, yes. That tub looked nuts.
This home is located in the White Pine Ranches neighborhood in the city. There are only 12 homes here, so the setting is extremely private. Then we have your gates opening up to your long private driveway that brings you up to the property. As you drive in, you see beautiful landscaping, mature trees, and you get a glimpse
No
of
wine
the
cellars or
modern
liquor
architecture
cabinets
of this property.
because Utah. Oh man. I mean, the odds are strong, but it still cracks me up.
Cantilevered roof lines, perfect indoor-outdoor integration, and on the lower level we have access to your 4-car garage where the homeowners stored their tractor. I'll cover that detail later. And lastly, driveway curves around.
Let me guess, the
and brings you
tractor
this
is to
point
clear the
where we
snow.
have the spacious
Yeah.
forecourt. Our surroundings are incredible. We're here in Park City, Utah, and it feels awesome to be here.
Yeah, it's always nice to be in Park City. This time we're here in the summertime, and it's a totally different kind of feel. Obviously, we love it in the wintertime, but we love it in the summertime also.
Absolutely, and this house feels like it's literally in the middle of a forest. We don't see any neighbors. It's so private, 5.4 acres, and you get a lot for your money. And we're currently on the motor court right now, super spacious, plenty of space for parking. And on this side, we have the second set of 4-car garages here. And there's a section here that actually cantilevers out, which is a perfect place for
I
you to
do
park
love a
your
good
car.
cantilever,
That way you can showcase it,
but
and at night that space
it
looks
doesn't
awesome.
seem
Now, coming
particularly
to this
interesting to
section,
me
if you
in
look
that
at the house,
case.
it looks a little bit deceiving from this angle because we're actually on the top floor right now. It has a reverse floor plan in a way. We have the common areas on the top floor, including the primary bedroom, and on the lower level, we have the entertainment space, few of the guest quarters, and the amazing backyard. Coming this way, we see amazing views throughout, and the way they connected the courtyard to the front door is super unique. It's a floating bridge, and underneath that, we have
Gotta
a water
have those
feature
slot
with
drains.
multiple streams that runs through the property. I mean, this is gorgeous. Look around us. Architectural lines, stacked stone, siding design. That's another bridge connecting the main wing to the primary bedroom suite, which is the entire right corner. Then you have mature trees, elevation differences, rocks, poured from concrete walls. List goes on and on and on. This is such an impressive first impression as you walk to your front door.
That is the other hard thing, having seen like a number of houses that are built with similar construction techniques and stuff. Yeah, okay, you can really see it here. Like modern construction homes in terms of aesthetic and stuff, when they have this, you know, metal paneling and everything, you can really see it here, like the rust already forming and just how like dusted it looks. Like the finish, it wears off. And I get like some people like that, but that's the hard part for me. Like I like like a modern home design. I enjoy that when it's done in a way that appeals to me, but there are a lot of ways to do it wrong too, in my humble opinion. But one frustration I have is, yeah, when I see the materials like this, it's hard to keep up on it. I get why this stuff starts to look this way, but you supposedly have the most expensive home in Park City, Utah, and to a detailer's eye, you're going to look at that area right there and you're going to tell me that looks fine? Really?
On and on and on. This is such an impressive first impression as you walk to your front door. I don't think we've ever seen a setting like this before.
No, this is incredible. I love the sound of the water throughout the whole house. You'll see as we walk through, you just get these kind of glimpses of waterfall sounds everywhere.
Absolutely. And this house reminds me of the Falling Water Estate in Pennsylvania, designed
Classic.
by Frank Lloyd Wright.
You
And I
can't
see that
talk
because that house
architecture
is
without
built around
mentioning
the river,
falling water.
And it's so well integrated to its surroundings, just like this home, so I wanted to point that out. And now, continuing our tour here, this bridge takes us to the covered entry, fire feature on my right-hand side. Again, stacked stone, siding details throughout, massive picture windows throughout the property, and we have the Fleetwood front door opening up to your spacious foyer. As soon as you walk in, you see these awesome views of the mountain, and we have the primary bedroom suite and the office on this wing. But first, I want to bring everybody here. Staircase on our left-hand side going down to the lower level, picture window facing the front, chandelier above, and we have this stacked stone wall coming from the outside all the way to the interior. And here we are in the great room.
Now I do like it. Like if you're looking at this like really baller type house stuff, when they have themes and like walls and stuff that transition from the exterior into the house, like through some kind of glass pane or something into the house, like rock walls and stuff, that's cool. I like that. But yeah, there are some that are better executed than others.
This space is phenomenal, gets great light. Dining area, chandelier above, and behind that we have a glass enclosed wine cellar here that can hold up to 1,000 bottles. Really complements the space, and right next to that we have a door opening up to an outdoor dining area that's front facing that we will cover in a bit. Now coming here, this is your main seating area. Furniture looks
Too
great.
soon on the wine.
Wood form concrete fireplace, and this one is actually electronic, meaning you can come here and shut it off and push of a button, ignite it back on.
Super cool.
Absolutely. And we have a marble coffee table in the center. This space is super open, super cozy. And by the way, all the furniture is included with the sale of this property. So I wanted to mention that. Limestone floors, amazing views of the surroundings, sliding glass doors open up. And yeah, we have the dining area, wine cellar, seating setup, kitchen here that we are gonna see in a bit. And now I wanna take everybody outside. So we have this cantilevered balcony here, which is an amazing outdoor space. And throughout the home, we have a lot of concrete patios, lower level patios and balconies. They're all heated, which is great. During winter, it makes it easy for you to use. And look at our surroundings here. I mean, views are absolutely.
Oh no, I'm not complaining about the views from inside the house looking out. I just
chairlifts, trails.
I'm not finding the house itself particularly interesting. So rather than boring all y'all with this place. Maybe some of you like it. I don't want to speak too soon here, but not doing it for me. So I'm going to try pulling up something a little more interesting. How would you like to see? Oh my God, Jamie, I know you're a Batman fan, aren't you? Why don't I pull up this house tour? Touring a $139 million LA mega mansion with a Batman style garage. What does a Batman style garage mean? What do we think that means? Curious to find out, aren't you? I've also got this toured the most futuristic motorhome in the world. Okay, so we got a crazy motorhome. Interesting. I've got a touring the largest doomsday bunker community. Also might be interesting. And then I just have my playlist page of some other stuff. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close that playlist page. We got a few good options here. Let's start with this supposed Batman garage place. And no, I will not be watching the entire 44-minute video here. We're just going, no parents in the garage. Oh no. Oh no. And on that note,
what's up, everybody? It's Enes here, and welcome to another episode. This week, we're in Bel Air, Los Angeles, and going to tour this incredible, newly constructed estate right behind me. This home features 12 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, approximately 36,000 square feet of
Jesus Christ.
built on a little over 2
I don't know, guys. Is it big enough?
acres of land with an asking price of $139 million. It is, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful and opulent estates we have ever toured on this channel. So
we're in the 9 figures now.
we got a really special episode ahead of us. As always, you can find more information about this property in the description of this video. And before we start our tour, I want to give big thanks to the listing agents, Adam Rosenfeld and John Grauman, for allowing us to tour their amazing listing.
He's very
And
good
now,
about
let's
thanking
begin.
the realtors when he works his way into these places. All right. Oh my God. That door was massive. Okay, that's the other thing. If you have a home like this and you're just like a couple who never had kids, but you have an inordinate amount of money, or you're so I thought some of the properties on Selling Sunset was 139 million. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, Alex, so you are a fellow Selling Sunset watcher also? I mean, I feel like I have a type for certain fun but admittedly kind of crappy reality shows in the form of Selling Sunset and Love Island. Those are like my 2 major guilty pleasure shows, for sure. But I don't watch like Real Housewives or any of that crap. I don't have time for that junk. But I do love Selling Sunset, and I do love Love Island. But Selling Sunset cracks me up because you know how produced and like how ridiculous over the top that stuff is. It's fun though. But I just like seeing some of the houses. Then they got to manufacture some dumb drama. But no, I actually enjoy seeing the houses. Actually, in the very first episode of Selling Sunset, there was a really, really rad property that was kind of like, it felt like you were standing in a teepee overlooking like all of LA. It was very interesting. It had like a really distinctive, pointed kind of feel. If I could find it, it would be cool. But yeah, I'd have to look. But I can't stop watching the drama. Selling Sunset is fun. Don't feel bad for watching it, Alex. You and I, we're on the same wavelength there. I find that show deeply enjoyable, for regardless of how fake it may be. What is that? Hold on. We have like fuzzy coats. A lot of, okay, there's clearly some kind of drink. Is it like vodka or something? This looks very interesting, but this also kind of looks like a very high-end murder room. Followed by fire. You know what though? Points on the production here for adding like the sound effects, and it's just vibes. Like, okay, I get you. And the day-night transition, very nice too. Here we go. Oh, love that slider shot. Great work. Ooh. Okay. Oh, it's got an Aston. I'm in. Oh my god, look how dusty it is. Oh no. Oh, look at the swirls. Ah! It's supposed to be cool, but I can't see past the shit on the paint. Guys, detailing has poisoned my brain. It's broken. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna be told that that's probably like Murano glass or something, which, if you weren't familiar, I've heard it brought up a few times in like really, really stupid, expensive mansions where like, oh yes, we have Murano glass sculpture over here. It's very fancy. Yeah, no doubt. Expensive dust. Wow. Okay. So that is interesting. It has dust maker all over it. Oh my god, are those all wine pot? What? That looks like a room where important decisions are made. Like, this looks like some guys envision like, oh, my rich guy place would be like a cigar lounge or something. This looks like a step above that. But yeah, the cigar thing strikes me as like very classic entrepreneur behavior. But this seems like, oh no, you've actually made it, and you're making important world-changing decisions in that room. I like gold. What the fuck? You gotta. What? Hold on. You got a motherfucking dinosaur in your place? What the hell is that? Genius does vasectomy consults in there. Hold up. That was a giant ass screen on the side of the pool. Is that a projection or? It's not a.
The thing that I think makes this estate stand apart is the attention to detail. Number one, the first thing I need to mention is code is constantly changing in Los Angeles, and as a result, the amount of square footage that exists on this property is not reproducible. Number two, this...
Oh, see, that right there, really, really wealthy people who, the ones who care about that sort of thing really get off on that idea, like, I have what no one else can have. There's definitely an element of that going on here, but I realize he's a realtor, he's got to sell like the image of it, but I can already feel like the cockiness just oozing off.
House has the size and the function, but what it really has is attention to detail that you typically aren't going to see, especially in a spec development style home. Every inch of this...
Look at the goddamn scissor lift behind him. That shit's crazy. I mean, it's like a rich person's genie lift, but that's crazy.
House was painstakingly combed through. You'll notice there's not a single spot of drywall. Every light fixture that hangs in the house was done meticulously with laser point precision, and I mean that in all seriousness. Lasers were literally sitting on the ground, aimed up at the ceiling in order to make sure that everything was aligned perfectly. So I think it's that craftsmanship that we typically look for that don't often see.
I mean, for real, if you're spending 139 mil on a place, it better be good. It better be real good.
It exists in space here, and that's what makes it so special.
I think, fortunately, or unfortunately, that's a problem most of us won't have to worry about, though. Exactly. When you're in a house that big, someone could break in. You have no clue. I mean, yeah, you got a security system, or you have security guards maybe around. Maybe you have sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads, but would it protect you? I don't know. This does have the energy of a home that gets infiltrated by like Agent 47 in a Hitman game or something. Or is it Agent 42? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 47. Anyway, this does feel like a boss level in Hitman or something, where you're just gonna, wake up in the middle of the night, you thought you heard something, you look around, and next thing you know, you're just getting choked out by some bald guy in a nice suit.
We're gonna start our tour.
Oh, I hadn't considered that. TE, that may be it. The dinosaur's there for the security. That's your security. That makes sense. Yeah.
On the exterior, gate opens up to the driveway.
Okay, the water flowing down, that's cool.
Floors with the pebble rock finish in between.
That's an interesting way to do that.
Water feature on the left. property is nicely hedged from the street level, and on my right
You got
hand side, we
privacy.
have the 1-car garage and the 2-car garage. This garage door right here opens up to something extremely unique.
Now, do those just look like shiny rock that's been polished, or because if you are really using rock that's been polished for those panels, that's got to be heavy as shit.
We're gonna see later in the tour. And now let's talk about the exterior architecture of this amazing.
Are you serious, Alex? Did you just do the math on that? Mortgage would be $463,333 a month before taxes and insurance. Over 25 years. Good God.
Amazing estate.
Yeah, because the people buying a house like this totally get themselves a 30-year mortgage.
More of the darker tones, stone clad throughout. I love
rich people.
this
They're just
metal
like us.
detail that they have on the second floor, giving some privacy. And we have the overhang details, walls of glass, gas lanterns, which looks super contemporary and chic.
That's
Coming
pretty
here, we have
cool.
The steps taking you down to the
Feels
front
wasteful,
door.
but
Another
it's cool.
water feature.
What happens if you have a gas leak and that stuff goes wrong, though? Are you just going to have the outside of your house explode? $139 million over 300 months. Yeah. Jeez. Although this little waterfall thing, that's cool. And the steps leading down, okay. I mean, this is so insanely over the top, but I mean, I'll appreciate a good water feature. I do wish it had a little more greenery, though. I get it's got a very particular aesthetic it's doing, but for me, I like seeing more organic stuff kind of making its way into the mix with some industrial design.
This is your incredible spiral staircase, walls of glass. And as you come in here, you can see you have a glass pivot door, fingerprint scanner, and door opens up and welcomes you into the estate.
Beverly Hills gonna blow.
Look at the views here. It's just incredible.
Whoa.
You have the city right in front of you, flow straight to your backyard. This property is amazing. This tour is gonna be so much fun.
Your house is a hotel lobby.
I'm gonna start right here. We have these oversized stone floors, which look stunning. They have it throughout this level in various patterns. They are not marble, but they have marble in them, and they just look incredible. We're gonna see them throughout. Coming here, we have this
My God, that chandelier is insane.
staircase going up to the second floor, as well as the lower level. And these doors actually open up to a coat closet, and this one right here is your elevator access.
Oh, of
Mikey,
course.
Can you get a close up on this door? Look at this.
Alex, video posted in March. I wonder if it's still on the market. Dude, at 139 million, I'd be surprised if that... Let's look. It probably has a listing to it somewhere down here, right? Property at... Oh, okay. We can look it up. Why don't we look it up? Yeah, property link. Let's take a peek, shall we? Oh, looks like it did sell. Okay. Or they just took it down. Who knows?
With the emblem of the house, suede finish, handles, furniture in this.
Okay. This is a very minor nitpick, but that little elevator button over there, the cover faceplate that goes around it, doesn't really look like it fits with the rest of this stuff. Like, yeah, it's got kind of a golden brassy kind of finish or whatever, but it doesn't look like it fits with the other shapes and materials. It just looks off. It doesn't look like it'd be out of place in like an Art Deco hotel or something, but it just doesn't look right here, at least not to my eye.
This house is incredible, and we're going to talk about that.
For such an attention to
Now, coming
detail,
here,
I
we
don't
have
know.
The bar on our right.
I'd be, if I'm spending this much money, I'd be the dick who complains about that. AliExpress lift buttons. Yeah, right? You spend all that money, you do your fucking laser levels for your ridiculous, chandelier setups, and then you finally go, oh shit, we forgot the elevator buttons. Oh, fine, just look on AliExpress, find what you can.
Right hand side, gorgeous stone fabrication, bar seating, custom furniture.
This has got like a little tassel on them.
And I love this open shelving design. That
Oh,
they
that's
have on the
interesting.
back. Those are actually solid.
That looks like a disaster waiting to happen, but then again, I'm guessing whoever buys this probably doesn't have kids. At least kids young enough to wreak havoc on said bar with open freestanding glass objects.
Pieces of metal. So they each weigh about 200 to 250 pounds. They're bolted to the countertops and it looks incredible. You have Makassar wood panels going all the way to the ceiling. We have double height ceilings here, 23 foot, and right across we have the formal.
Okay. For those who aren't familiar, 23 feet is really, really tall. Like, way taller than you'd think. That's up there.
Living room area. I mean, this room is just incredible. Custom furniture throughout. In fact, all the furniture in this.
It's like your living room is just a foyer in a convention hall.
This house was specifically made for this house by a company called La Contessina. They have spent over $3.5 million just in the furniture alone. And it looks incredible with the stitching, belts, details. You have this gorgeous marble coffee table right in the center. And the focal point of this room is this 23-foot double-sided linear gas fireplace. And the entire assembly here is clad with 41 slabs of narrow Marquino marble.
That texture looks a little crazy.
What? They have this really unique pattern.
It looks like a basket weave. What? I mean, it's creative, I guess, but oof, would not want to be the one who had to put that together.
Which you can see throughout the entire surface. It took them 9
Okay,
months.
excuse me, but I like y'all, Ennis, but we're going to skip ahead because I think a lot of us here really want to see what the garage is like. Am I right? More surfaces to trap dust. Exactly. These are the things that people don't talk about on house tours or really show, because obviously when you're looking at a home that's like up for sale and they're doing the whole promo video and stuff, it's going to look as good as it will ever look. And it might look damn good. But when you're in there and the practical nature of everything starts to set in and you're looking around going, shit, I've got a place like this now. But let's be real. The people who buy a house like this, they're probably not the ones cleaning their own house. It's highly unlikely. Whether you think that's right or wrong, we'll take it up with them. But yeah, no, they're probably not the ones doing the cleaning. But I am going to skip ahead. I'm going to look for garage. Where's that garage? Where's that garage? Ballroom, seating areas, and car garage. Wow, just the whole thing. All right, play.
Now that wraps up our tour on the main floor, and we're gonna do what we mentioned earlier, wait for sun to fully go down so we can tour the rest of the home.
Oh, I just now realized he's got a friggin' open gas fire pit going inside the house here. I figure most of the surfaces around here aren't flammable, short the couch, but you know, just feels like a bad thing waiting to happen.
At night.
So this house is a very unique showing experience. When you walk into the main level, you're obviously met with incredible volume, amazing scale, some incredible views, and then you go upstairs to the primary suite, and there's really nothing left to be desired. What makes it so amazing is when you walk all the way down that wraparound staircase and you end up in the lower level, that's when people's minds tend to melt because you're not expecting what you see down here.
I don't know about you, but just listening to this guy talk and looking at his demeanor, I feel like he knows some dirt on some pretty important people. He's got the vibe of somebody who's got a lot going on in that steel trap of his.
Size and scale of the space, the amenities that exist in this lower
carbon monoxide is a sleeping aid, Jesus.
Level are second to none in terms of being on par with other properties in Los Angeles. And I would be remiss to say that this may be the most impressive room that I've ever seen in a single family residence in all of Los Angeles.
Well, okay then. Keep showing that damn dinosaur. Oh. Okay, that's kind of cool, actually. That's kind of cool. The way the chandelier comes all the way down, touches the floor, and like spills out. Okay, points once again for creativity. That's kind of cool. I mean, if you're gonna have like a baller-ass mansion, do something like that. That's got character. I like that.
So, a few hours have passed.
He gives Jay-Z back
Now we're
rubs.
touring the lower level at night. We wanted to do this because this house was
Notice they put up the little little pylons, the little velvet rope things to keep people from stepping on what is undoubtedly a heinously expensive feature, the chandelier as it pours out onto the floor. Kind of one of those unintended consequences things. The artist is like, I have a great idea. We're going to design the chandelier and it's going to look like it's spilling onto the floor. It's like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then you have a party and some drunk yahoos, not even knowing what they're doing, just wander a little too far backwards and you hear crunch. Yeah, they just stepped on your, like, no doubt, $1 million chandelier. Just like that. Probably wouldn't feel too great about it. So they put up some velvet rope. Solves the problem.
with the lighting, walls of glass, scale. It looks so incredible at night that we wanted to do the rest of the tour basically after 7 p.m. And house just looks stunning. We're gonna start our tour here with the spiral staircase. This design here with the railing and the emblem, and right in the center we have a 44-foot chandelier attached all the way to the ceiling on the second floor. It has 55,000 crystals. They had to reinforce the entire ceiling in order to accommodate this one-of-a-kind chandelier.
That thing has to be so damn heavy. Like, how heavy do you think that is?
We have never seen anything like this, and it comes down to this level, and this is your landing. We're looking at a 6...
Sorry, Dane's deflated pool. No toe sucking in this video. I was already thrown off by Uncle Roger's video yesterday. I don't need none of that.
1,000 square foot ballroom with multiple seating areas, bar in the center that we're going to see in a bit.
And just a few
First,
cars in the
wanna bring
background.
everybody
Look
here.
like Astons.
We have this door opening up to your elevator access on
Aha.
this level. And we have 2 doors here. Let's have a quick look. We have the first powder room here, your marble
Yes, Alex, there it is.
vanity with a ceiling mount faucet. And this is where you have your water closet.
Wait a second. What the? That's the faucet?
Your marble vanity with a ceiling mount faucet.
Inez, you're saying that like that's a normal thing. What the fuck? That is not a normal thing. Who has their faucet hanging, not like from out of the wall or something, but out of the ceiling?
And this is where you have your water closet. And we have a replica of this right next door. Mikey, we need a close up. Look at the wall paneling here and the brass inlay design. These are all laser cut and hand polished. Look at these handles with the suede inlay and the logos. I mean,
There's suede on
it's
that
just
handle.
mind-boggling. And as soon as you walk
Jeez.
in, you have 18-foot high ceilings here, cove lighting details throughout, and we're looking at the first seating area here with a marble table in the center.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume all of this furniture here was custom made specifically for this house, because when you reach a certain level, that's just how they roll. You're not picking your shit up at IKEA.
And again, the furniture setup in this house just looks incredible. You have a custom carpet with the emblem of the house. And coming here, we have the secondary seating area.
Yes, Alex, interior GPS. I feel like it would be a requirement at a certain point in this house. This is not a house. This is a large luxury hotel that 2 people just happen to live in. I'm assuming it's a couple, but who knows? Maybe it's I don't know. It could be anything.
And the scale of this room is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to mention it, but I feel like I'm constantly talking about the furniture here, but it's so custom. I mean, look at the straps behind these chairs, your bar
Sheesh.
setup here. It's just one of a kind. Now, we have the same oak hardwood floors with the chevron pattern here on this level. And before
The amount of like brass gold I'm seeing with like kind of warm tone but still muted colors, it makes me feel like you're looking at a house that was designed in the in the 80s, but then in all the glass and stuff, but then was brought up to a modern update. Not something that was built in the 80s, but rather the idea for all the colors and textures and stuff they came up with in the 80s, and then it just got filtered through like a 2021 2022 filter, and you wound up with this. It just gives me those vibes.
Before we go back to the bar area, I want to bring everybody's attention here. This is a first.
You could build a whole IKEA for 139 mil.
This is a 6-car
Well, they got a DBX.
elevator that goes up to the garage on the main level where we have this.
Okay, but let's be real. Whoever owns this house, they have taste. They have Aston Martins. I bought my Jag because I couldn't afford an Aston Martin, but the Jag was the next closest thing. I appreciate this.
Single door. That way you can actually change whatever car you want through your phone or your Savant system. Let's say you
Hold up, you have an app on your phone that controls your garage.
want this Aston Martin, push of a button, it will actually lower the main elevator.
It's a car
put
vending
this,
machine.
Aston Martin on top, push it up to the main level.
This is insane.
This is insane.
Yeah.
It gets better. Let's say you're having a party here, right? You have 6 cars on this entire assembly. You can program it where you're constantly shifting the cars from one side to another, which would be an amazing backdrop. I mean, this looks like it's out of a Batman movie. I mean, this is crazy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Something about this just reminds me of Bruce Wayne.
One thing that is throwing me a little bit is it kind of looks unfinished. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it feels a little unfinished because I'm looking at all of these exposed wires and stuff. Like, I don't mind exposed wires if it's done for like an artistic purpose. You can kind of integrate it in a way that looks satisfying, but this kind of feels a little more haphazard. It's fairly well managed, but you got this weird, like, just stock. It looks like something on a server rack just going straight up. It's probably feeding power to the actual scissor lift, like up atop, but I don't know. It just looks a little funny to me. It takes away from the illusion of just how, like, amazingly crafted and beautiful this is. Like, of course you want it to look industrial because that's cool and hardcore, but at the same time there's a level of polish to it that you get on the surface that you understand. However, that part just throws me off a little bit. I think it's mostly because if you look off to the left side of the screen there, see that one stray like power cord that's coming off of whatever that vertical, like, it almost looks like a light fixture on the far left, like almost just going off the screen. There's a little cord that comes off of it and then feeds down between those two sets of yellows that are coming from both sides. It's casting such a strong shadow from the way stuff's lit down here. It just really draws your eye to it, and it looks cheap.
I can see a Batmobile on this thing. Anyway, I'm not going to get...
Oh god, Andrew Tate owns this part. Yeah, no, I don't think Andrew Tate can afford that shit.
I think it looks incredible. I think this is the best car display, car garage.
He can talk out of his ass as much as he likes, but he ain't caked up like that.
Yeah, it really does.
Also, during the inspection period, the city inspector required them to have some sort of a dedicated fire sprinkler system for this garage assembly here, and that's why they have these fire curtains above us that seals off this section in case something happens here.
Is it to protect the people or protect the cars? I'm wondering which side that works to benefit.
Right next to your bar. Mikey, I need you to pen up to the ceiling.
Okay, I mostly just wanted to see the garage in this place. Oh my, okay, we're gonna find out what that frozen room is all about. Let's check that out. What the... Okay, I did want to find out what this room was for also, so we'll do that too. It's a cigar lounge and wine cellar. Of course, who doesn't have one of those?
They're built in.
Of course.
Look at the handles. Woodwork. Everything about it is just so gorgeous. And I have another story for you. Look at this couch right here. They put this couch, once they put everything up with the windows and doors, right? It didn't fit through the door. That's why they had to take out an entire glass panel to move this couch in and install the glass panel back on.
Wow. This house is crazy.
This house is just...
It's like the most understated way to say it. Wow, this house is crazy. Wow.
Truly one of a kind. All right, we're back in the ballroom. Additional seating area. Chandelier.
Okay.
But before we go out there, I actually want to bring
Dinosaur?
everybody here.
Maybe later.
Seating area. I and just cellar.
The freaking
now,
pillows.
This wine cellar holds
Oh my god, those are wine bottles. I wondered, but I wasn't quite sure because they all look so
and
uniform.
Mike, we need to get a close-up. The way they designed this wall is super unique. Essentially, you just lift up your bottle a little bit, and it comes out. They have these built-in, I guess, slots with a little angle, and it just holds your bottle in place.
Can you imagine being just like the biggest menace and running around this place just waving your arms and cracking all the bottles at the next la 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 and just freaking out? Wow, there's somebody out there who had that intrusive thought and thought about doing that once, I bet.
Just like that. looks very sleek. And right in the center, we got this gorgeous marble table. Look at the chairs. Look at the custom carpet.
It looks like some very high-end cult shit.
Glass chandelier.
Very
Now, here's an interesting
high-end
fact.
cult shit.
They have modeled this chandelier after a dress that former First Lady Jacqueline Onassis once wore. How crazy is that?
That's wild. Imagine being a big enough pop culture icon to have a chandelier modeled after a dress that you wore one time.
Amazing.
Gives,
Out of words.
Gives you something to aspire to.
Absolutely. All right.
I can feel the sarcasm just seething through.
Okay. Ready, Mikey?
Yeah.
Right next to your wine cellar.
Don't get me wrong, Jackie O was a fashion icon. Through and through.
You have a vodka tasting room. And I honestly don't know how to talk about this space. I mean, you have an island in the center that's marble. And it's pretty cold in here. You have
Yeah, it looks pretty cold in there.
beautiful shelves where you feature your spirits or your vodka. And because it's really cold here, they have these faux fur jackets and this faux fur hat. I'm gonna see if I can put this on, but I have my hair done and I look probably really ridiculous right now. But
Yeah.
Inez is just like, I'll just give my hair gel to the next person who wears this.
if you want to stay here, enjoy some vodka, you gotta put these on because
You kind
it's,
of need it. It's like 25 degrees.
yeah,
in here.
it's pretty cold here, and that's why let's.
Roush, I may be blind, but the chandelier looked like a bunch of fish. Yeah, it kind of had that look. Having seen like blown glass fish and that kind of stuff, like in a little Hawaiian gift shop or something, it kind of had that vibe too. But I'm sure they wouldn't like hearing someone say that about it.
Get out.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
All right, Alex, you have yourself a good night. Thanks for watching with us. It was fun. Sorry you didn't find out until pretty late on.
Continue our tour. That was really interesting. Now, actually, Mikey, let's stop right here. Look at these brass inlays on the glass walls. Emblem of the house. Every corner. There are so many details in this house. It's just like, I almost feel like I'm skipping half of it.
Yeah, I want to look at the dinosaur.
Well, and since I got you guys here, I realize Alex is on his way out, but I was also going to say, like I mentioned earlier, for when I do these streams and stuff, I would really appreciate it if anybody just wanted to take a little bit of time when they get a chance. Go ahead and clip some stuff out. Do follow along on Twitch here and just do some ins, some outs to... All right, Anthony says he'll be on in 15, so I'll probably be wrapping up the stream in the next 20 minutes or so. But yeah, just making sure on that. But yeah, go ahead and clip out some stuff you like, or do some breakdowns of the videos and stuff. I would really appreciate it, just so that I've actually got some clips on my channel made by other users, because if I do it, I don't think it works the same. But that way they actually last, because otherwise the videos, they disappear after like a week or two. But yeah, just in case it's something you're interested in and we could share with the world, I like that. I'm trying to build stuff up here, but I think that's a big part of that. So thanks in advance if you decide to help.
All right, let's go check out the dinosaur. Again, Fleetwood, sliding glass doors. They're
Let's see this
motorized, tucked into
freaking
the wall,
dinosaur.
Opening up to your outdoors end. You basically have an outdoor nightclub lounge here. Multiple fire pits, multiple seats.
It seems like they couldn't decide what to do with these lantern things, so they just started leaving them around places randomly.
Areas. Amazing view. City is glowing right in front of you. And right in front of me, we have this dinosaur.
Right in front of me, I've got this weird pelvic bone stabbing me in the face from this dinosaur.
Skeleton sculpture here. This does look cool.
No, I appreciate that, Roush. Thanks. Or Roush, yeah. I think it's fairly straightforward once you figure it out, but I haven't messed with it yet. I've just seen that's a thing that other people do. And other people seem to clip, their favorite streamers a lot or whatever. So it helps, build up like a catalog, I guess. But it gives people a chance to see like what it's about. Otherwise, I'll take some time out of my day, maybe this weekend or something, try and clip together a few before they start disappearing again, because they do seem to disappear.
And it really goes with the whole Batman theme of this lower level.
Yeah, we've toured billions of dollars worth of real estate. We've never seen a dinosaur skeleton in a house before.
Well, clearly you've never been to Nick Cage's house.
Not like this one. We've seen one.
What's your favorite kind of dinosaur?
T-Rex?
T-Rex, okay.
Well, that's a basic answer.
Pretty standard answer, yeah. All right.
All right. They have floating floors here where you have the drains tucked underneath. It's the same composite stone finish that we saw throughout the property. And coming here, we have another outdoor fire pit. And Mikey, let's go this way so we can take a look at the gym. And look at this gym. I mean, you have a spin class here. multiple Pelotons, 3 TVs attached to the ceiling.
Are you
We
running
have
a
your
house or a
tonal system
business?
Here.
You know how to clip my day job stuff. Oh, hey, that's something.
Rock climbing wall, because why not? And we have 18-foot ceilings throughout the lower level. I mean, this is just incredible. And right next to your gym, we have this glass door opening up to your jacuzzi. Looks stunning.
Ooh, look at
And
that
around the
whirlpool
corner, it gets
action.
better. We have this door opening up to your steam room, where you have this built-in table in the center with onyx countertops, backlit and heated.
Yes, Roush, Peloton is a cult, of which Anthony is a member.
You have marble
So far as I
mosaic walls
know.
throughout. This is stunning, and you have marble-clad walls here. And at the end, we have this door opening up to your actual massage.
I'm trying to figure out if I like that, because the walls look so bare and sparse, but I like the idea of the cutouts for the candles. It gives it some character. It's cool, but it's so plain. Otherwise, I mean, it's like really sterile and clinical, but I get they're trying to go for like a Zen vibe and not overcomplicate it. I don't know. It's whatever to me. I don't particularly care for it.
Room with the vanity. Now, I also want to talk about the security aspect of this home. A lot of our viewers always ask about the security.
It's a good
of the
question,
home that we
Deflated
tour.
Pool.
This property has 32 8K cameras throughout. And
Oh, good. Show us where they all are so anybody trying to get in can figure it out ahead of time. That's really helpful.
they actually have a security quarters where you can kind of monitor all these camera angles. They have 2 security staff bedrooms.
I can just see some enterprising thieves out there right now who have, you know, more guts than brains, and they're just like, okay. Yeah. Oh, tell me more. Really?
Hidden in the property that we unfortunately cannot show to you guys. And on top of that,
Unfortunately.
they got an
Yeah, that would totally
incredible
blow up our
safe
spot
room
if we did that.
clad with Kevlar. That way you feel extremely safe. But again, unfortunately, we cannot show it to you guys. Now, coming back to the gym, we have this door opening up to a full bathroom dedicated to this area. You got a gorgeous marble sink.
You're not living in a house at this point. You're living in a hotel. Granted, an incredibly nice hotel, but it's a hotel.
With 2 faucets, marble-clad back wall, LED lit mirror, and around the corner we have this door opening up to a gorgeous walk-in shower. And right here we have some lockers, built-in lockers, and some name tags: Arnold, GMA, Bezos,
let's just out everybody.
Zuckerberg, Wall, and Gates. I
Oh
guess
wait, these are a joke.
when you own a home like this, these people might be your friends. And Mikey, GMA, John Michael Ayers.
John Michael Ayers, that's my name.
It's calling your name.
My full name.
Okay, can we get his birthday and social security while we're at it?
All right, I was gonna say, how many years do you think, Mikey, it'll take you to get an estate like this?
Maybe like 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months? Easy.
Yeah.
I knew it. All right. Oak hardwood floors, chevron pattern. Mikey.
I knew a theater was coming. I saw a popcorn machine, and yeah, it's kind of obvious what's coming next.
Yeah, I forgot a detail. We gotta come back this way. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you saw a theater. We're
So
not going there
obviously this
yet.
hallway takes you back to the ballroom.
Okay, I am lost now because we just went around a whole. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
We have this opening here taking you to the staff quarters.
It's nice to know, even in your $139 million home, you still have gain on the drawers next to your standard ass washing and drying machine.
Multiple bedrooms, bathrooms. You have your laundry room also here.
The difference being you have like a full damn laundromat there. Jeez, you got 6 machines. Okay, you are living in a hotel. At what point do you just admit this isn't a house, this is a hotel? There are clearly way more people living here than you're initially letting on. Because, I mean, yeah, when you got a $139 million mortgage, you need roommates.
Now, last room on this level, and it's a special one. You have your candy station, wine station.
Oh, thank God there's Sour Patch Kids. I guess I can live here after all.
Popcorn machine. I'm assuming you're getting the point. You got a screen here showing you what movie is playing because we have...
Okay, that's like the most expected thing ever. Really, really incredibly rich mansion house, whatever. What's playing in the movie theater? A James Bond movie. Come on.
This pocket door opening up to your movie theater. You have padded walls, plush carpet on the floors.
By movie theaters and home standards, I've seen a number of different ways to do it. This one at least looks really, really comfy. So, not bad.
Leather electric recliner chairs that sits 15 people. Massive screen on this side. And what's great about this room is the fact that
Man, even in your friend's home theater, there's still a row of seats that's way too close to the goddamn screen.
since we are below grade, the
Oh yeah, just put grandma up front. She'll barely notice.
entire room is cased out of concrete, so you have incredible sound insulation here. You close the door, no one will even hear that you're here. And look at this space. Look how gorgeous it is.
Once again, somebody could break in and you'd never know, except for your crazy state-of-the-art security system, which he was really wanting to tell you about. But, you know, people wouldn't let him.
You just sit down, watch a movie here. And that wraps our tour on the lower level. Let's go back to the staircase so we can check out the second floor.
There's just so much house here.
Now we're on the
Lordy.
second floor. If you take the main staircase, it brings you to this wing of the second floor where you have the primary bedroom suite. But if you take the
You can hear how winded he is from going up those stairs.
staircase on the back side that we took earlier, it brings you up to the 2 guest suites. So I wanted to kind of clarify that.
What is
The
this?
thing about it is just like
Holy hell.
handles and this with built-in seating. We have wardrobe set up throughout, open shelving, and this closet looks incredible. The veneers.
This is less like a walk-in closet and more like an actual shop on Rodeo Drive. Just straight up. That is insane.
The finish, handles, textures, LED lighting, everything about it is just like incredible. You know, normally I would say this is like a really nice boutique store, but I think it's way better than that. It feels like a first class experience almost, like an Emirates flight. You know, I'm out of words. Look at the finishes here.
And that seat that's like built into the end, that's crazy. Way too bougie for my taste, but pretty cool in its own ridiculous way.
It's really nice. This is better than a boutique store. You're right.
I mean, look at this drawer setup here. Look at the handle. Look at the way it closes.
It's like
Soft close. Who doesn't love a good
Look at
soft
these oversized
close?
handles with the branding. Inside you have your racks. I mean, it's just stunning. Open shelving. 2 skylights above. It's nice.
You get some nice natural lighting. Let's see. I want to look outside. I'm kind of skipping things along here at the end because I realize I'm getting pretty close to time to go meet up with Anthony on the Xbox. We'll stream from there. Don't worry. You'll be able to keep up with us there too. It's just I'll have to wrap up this stream fairly soon. So I'm wanting to see that screen I saw outside by the pool. I want to see what that's about.
This is your rooftop deck, and the first thing I want to talk about are the views. You have the entire city in front of you, all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Obviously, we cannot see it right now, but views are stunning. You have downtown Los Angeles right ahead, and we take this for granted. We live in this city, but LA is pretty special.
Yeah, we've been on the road for a while. All over the
Oh,
place.
I jumped all around. It's actually back here.
It's just stunning, and you have your infinity edge pool. More importantly, you have a motorized 23-foot
There it is.
TV that pops right in front of you. That way you can watch movies or TV or games right here, straight from your pool. It is incredible. It is.
Wow, imagine being just a streaming player like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, play a little Sea of Thieves with the boys. You go sit on your chaise lounge out by the pool, screen comes up, your neighbors can see what you're playing, like, oh hey, go Timmy, go. Yeah, that's interesting. Also, are those swings over at that bar looking thing?
Not small either.
It is not small, and on top of that, it has a windometer on top, which means if it gets really windy, it automatically lowers itself. Super.
That's cool and thoughtful, but windometer sounds like a made-up word.
Super cool. Now, coming here, we have this outdoor seating area on our right-hand side with a fire pit. Your outdoor bar.
Those
which
are
looks
swings.
Stunning. I mean, the stone clad here. These ceiling mount swing chairs that are plexiglass with LED lighting inside.
Okay, I know if I sat on one of those, it probably would start to crack. I don't know, guys.
This is one of the coolest bar seating or bar sections we have ever seen on this channel.
To be fair, it's pretty rad, although it also means, like, unlike a bar stool, you can't really adjust the seating situation. They're just are where they are.
For sure. That's really cool.
Absolutely. And I love this stone pattern here, which they have on the back wall as well. Open shelving, you have your beer tap, small fridge, ice maker, everything you need. And around the corner, we have a 30-person sunken fire pit area with built-in seating. And of course, amazing views. Everything about this property is truly stunning. Now it gets better. I'm gonna bring everybody this way. We have some space heaters.
All right, I think we've seen what we needed to see here at this house. We now understand what it's like to live on the other side. We also know that if you invite Ennis into your house, there's a good chance he'll expose all of your security protocols, so that's handy. Yeah, I think I've seen what I needed to see, but thank you, Ennis, and thank you, all those of you watching, for hanging around. We had some fun tonight. It was an impromptu one. I wasn't even planning on streaming tonight, but, you know, Alex asked me, and I thought, you know, I feel like it. Just feel it in my gut. I want to go stream it. I was happy enough to see at least, you know, 10 of you showed up. That was great. I appreciate that. I really do. So thank you for watching along. And if you're following my Twitch channel, you'll be notified, hopefully, when I go live. Apparently, it doesn't tell somebody who's waiting on the actual page when I go live. So you got to, like, refresh the page. But I don't know what to tell you. I hope it gets better at that. But anyway, I just really appreciate y'all for tuning in. You certainly don't have to, but you make me feel welcome. And I really enjoy doing this, actually, because let's be honest, if I didn't have you guys watching along with me, I'd probably be watching these videos myself on my TV. It's just here I get a chance to actually, like, share the experience with people, and I really like doing that. So if you couldn't tell, I actually enjoy doing the whole live streaming thing. So yeah, thanks. Any rate, I'm gonna go ahead and start playing the outro music. That's right, because we are just about done, but not done for the full night. No, there's still more to come. It may be 10:53 p.m. here right now on a Thursday night in the Dane household, but I plan on streaming some more. Why? Because playing games is fun. So we're gonna hop on the Xbox. We're gonna play some Sea of Thieves with Anthony and possibly some others. I don't know. Jamie's gonna join us. Maybe we get some friends popping in there, helping us crew a ship and take down some other pirates. It could be a good time. So yeah, try not to sink your own ship tonight. That's good advice, and I'll probably screw that up. So if you want to see what happens, tune in to what's coming up here next. If you have to refresh the Great Dane Films Twitch page, well, you know what to do. Just keep refreshing it until you see there's a new live appearing, but there will be one. So yeah, don't worry, I'll be there. At any rate, if you can figure out how to clip these VODs, these VODs, these video on demands, the live streams I've done, if you can clip sections out of it, I'd appreciate that too. Get some, like, new little video clips, stuff to kind of show people what my channel's about. I can do it myself too, of course, but if you want to help me, I'd really appreciate it. You can also cut out things that make me look bad or say something funny. I don't mind particularly. If you want to do it and have some fun, more power to you. Come up with a funny name for it or something. We'll have fun together. All right, so with all that said, I'm going to pop it over to the full screen. That's right, where I've been talking this whole time. And now I am going to wrap it up. So I'll see you guys on the high seas, hopefully, if you want to join me. Otherwise, have a wonderful night, and I'll probably stream again tomorrow. We'll just have to see how things go. But if I stream tomorrow, as you know, it's a free-for-all Friday, so we're probably going to watch more random videos like this, maybe some more house tours, maybe some car stuff. Can't be sure, but we'll have fun together. And as always, be sure to contribute some stuff in the chat, so I got more things to watch. I can add them to my list, and we can check them out later. Anyway, that's enough of me yapping. I gotta go hop on a pirate ship. I'll see you over there, hopefully. Have a good night.